You work hard for your money. Buy quality.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
What the hell are you doing this morning, for God's sake?
Sorry. I don't know.
Well, listen, you maneuvered things far better than the NFL has so far, to be honest with you.
That's a good point,
That's
Bill.
my take. So
That's a good one.
if that can be your standard for the rest of your life, you'll be doing pretty good. Davey, good morning. Good morning. What you think of? First of all, we'll talk a little bit about the unbelievable press conference yesterday. I thought I was watching an SNL bit at times. If anybody watched the two doctors,
yeah.
first of all, they were awesome, and it was so informative. And then it was all done virtually, so anybody could pipe in. You could have gotten on there yesterday, and if you did, I would hope you'd get a nice plug for your radio station or TV station, because that's what they were doing.
Wait a minute. What?
Hello, this is Bob Johnson. You got to go into your radio voice.
Oh.
Hello, this is Bob Johnson, WBEN Buffalo, News, Talk, Sports, and everything else. Quick question here for you guys. When will he be able to play football? What do you think? That's kind of what it was like at times.
I did not see this. I didn't.
Oh, it went on for almost over an hour. I mean, it was awesome.
Make sure you get the FM translator in there also.
That's right. Also at 106.9 FM. Streaming live on YouTube right now. As a matter of fact, you can check it out. And then the doctors were like, "Well, we didn't say he could actually play football."
Okay.
Well, excuse me. This is Tina from WTEY. I'm in Cincinnati. Will he be able to perform on the uneven bars? What do you think? What do you think? Like, come on, people. You're embarrassing the entire world of people who get up in the morning like we do every day and make fools of ourselves.
I will say this. You know, sports reporters are notorious for asking the dumbest questions of sports athletes, especially head coaches. Hey, coach, you're down 28-0 at the half. What do you think?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Well,
so anyway,
what you needed is Jim Boeheim there to be like, that's the stupidest question I've ever heard. They didn't do that. They were polite physicians who were awesome, by the way.
Boeheim's answer would have been, well, if you had gone into cardiac arrest on the field and they had to perform CPR on you on the field with an ambulance there, and you've been in a medically induced coma for the last 3 days.
And you roll your eyes right here.
Do you think this would be the time to be talking about, is he going to take the field again?
So
I don't have the nasally thing today.
I would say, though, that it was amazing to watch because many of the questions were really good. And at one point, the physicians. So one of the questions I thought was worthy was what do you think the best case scenario is? That's a good question.
Look, forgive me, and I don't know what they said. I really have no idea that this happened yesterday. We're kind of maybe on the cusp of it, aren't we?
Well, they don't know because right now. So how do you get to stage 2? So right now you're in critical condition. How does he come out of critical condition? The answer was, the tube comes out of his throat. And he breathes on his own. That's the next step. And, by the way, they're getting there. He's made major improvements. In fact, he's communicating. He can't talk because he has the tube going down his throat. But he is writing. He is squeezing people's hands. He is communicating back and forth. In fact, the first question that he had for the doctors, as Davey said, was, did we win the game? Did we win, is what he wrote. And the doctors, of course, as Davey said, actually, you did win. You're here today, and you're talking, and you're communicating.
That's kind of what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, when this thing on Tuesday morning, if we knew by Friday morning, he would be. They don't.
Sounds a little like a train, doesn't it?
Kind of does. They don't think, he's going to have neurologic damage. Did I hear that correctly? He's
They do not
communicating.
believe there is any, right now, there is no sign of neurological
It's great.
damage.
Did you think we would be
No.
kind of think, oh, well, hopefully he just survives?
I didn't think he was going to live. And I felt like the silence that was, I do think it was probably a little touch and go in the beginning.
Yeah.
But they say he never, his heart never stopped again. It initially didn't stop on the field. So, but when initially, when they were putting him into the ambulance, that's when the heart stopped. It is the first and only time that his heart stopped. They then performed CPR, they cleared the airways, and then did the defibrillator. Mm-hmm. There were also some moments where, like, these doctors, a couple of doctors, like they may be experts on CNN or something, called in and was like, tell me, what do you, the B102-7 reading on meter number 1, what is the airway reading on that? And the doctors are like, well, we're really not prepared to get that deep into his current condition.
So,
all right, thank you very much.
I have 2 questions here. It's too soon to say right now. They don't know what happened yet, do they?
That's the other part of this. They do not at this point, because he is still in a position where he is being assisted when it comes to breathing. They do not know what caused it. And what they said about that, whatever that condition is, I forget the name that has been popped around since night number 1, since Monday night, where you take
cardiomyopathy, something like that.
Where you take the exact perfect hit onto the heart, the impact at the perfect time, as Dr. Hall said. It has to be perfect, and this is extremely rare, but it can change the rhythm of the heart to the point where it could cause the heart to stop. But they're saying at this point they haven't gotten into that yet. They don't. They have to. There are a whole series of tests that have to be done to eliminate. It's really a process of elimination where they eliminate this. Okay, it wasn't this. It wasn't this. It wasn't this. And then we work our way to the point where we'll come to a conclusion as to what caused this.
Okay, so I guess
the short answer, you're absolutely right. We don't know right now.
So, and this is part of that. I'm going to kind of ask a follow-up, but we don't know. I'm just wondering, did anybody ask about the COVID vaccine tie?
No one asked about the COVID.
Isn't that a shock? What were the odds on that?
I know. Well, I can say this, that I tuned in probably about 20 minutes in. Okay. So at least the time when I was watching, no one asked about COVID. And I just feel like...
Boy, I hate to even ask this question because they don't know what happened. So, I mean, we kind of assume the force of the hit tore something or knocked his heart out of rhythm, but we don't know.
Here's
right?
the other.
He could have had a massive heart attack.
Here's
he could have
the
another
other thing.
One
of the women said, "I'm hearing here that you put a tracheotomy in on the field. You trached him on the field. And stat, is that true?" And the doctor is like, that is absolutely not true. We did not do that.
Even when you're on the phone, you're just afraid sometimes that every other reporter and every other person who can hear you is going to think you're an idiot. So you make yourself sound like an idiot.
I think you get nervous. That's exactly right. Except there was one woman that's like, hello, everybody. It's so nice. And thank you, doctors, for what you've done. And Davey, you heard all this, right? I mean,
yes.
I'm not that far off.
No, you're not.
Holy crap.
And they even praised the Bills trainer.
They did. Well, the Bills trainer, who, by the way, is a former Syracuse football trainer.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Doug Marrone brought him from Syracuse when he accepted the Buffalo Bills job.
Yeah.
So
then Marrone took off.
Speaking of praise, I'll throw this in there because we were talking about, obviously, the game, but the game where he was injured will not be played. And when we talked about this Tuesday, I think I offered, I hope he didn't reply to your message, because he was messaging you suggesting maybe they wouldn't play the game. And I think Richard. And I offered him 2-1 odds.
Richard was correct.
And I hope he didn't send you a dollar amount because I would owe him some money this morning.
He said
but he was right.
$100,000 is what the bet is.
And cheesecake.
I do have the NFL announced yesterday that the Bills and Bengals will not replay the game. Both teams are already in the playoffs. so that won't be affected. Officials are meeting today to figure out seeding and other issues. So all the scenarios that are out there right now, I don't believe are final.
Well, so this is via NFL.
There's scenarios.
I have 3 scenarios in front of me, and not one of them includes Bills-Bengals. Although I think maybe if you listen to this, even though it doesn't lay out that game, I think it will be played at a neutral site. Or do you think it'll be played at Buffalo?
I read this morning that if it's Bills-Bengals, that game would be played. And maybe I read it wrong, but I believe that game would be played in Buffalo. If it is Bills-Chiefs, it should be played in Buffalo, too, because the Bills beat the Chiefs.
No, but the Chiefs...
But the Chiefs have one extra win. So I thought we were going to talk about removing that extra win.
Well, no, so the Chiefs don't lose the win, but if it's Buffalo and Kansas City, Buffalo versus Kansas City championship game would be at a neutral site.
Okay. That's what would be at a neutral site.
It also says a Buffalo-Kansas City championship game would be at a neutral site. Okay, it seems to say the same thing in scenario 1 and 2, exactly the same to me. I don't know how I'm misreading that, but that's what that says. Scenario 3 is Buffalo or Cincinnati versus Kansas City championship game at a neutral site. Now, number 1 here, the AFC championship game will be played at a neutral site if the participating teams played an unequal number of games and both could have been the number 1 seed.
So Bills-Bengals.
So they both could have been the number 1 seed, though.
Right.
So I think if it's Bills, Bengals, and anybody else, I think it's a neutral site game, which isn't.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's fair for the Chiefs.
As the doctors were sitting there, excuse me, you said he might not be able to run, but can he skip? Will he be able to skip? Every question. There were many questions that were good, but there were questions that were just so ridiculously stupid. I don't know how the doctors sat there and sat through the whole thing. But it's also very interesting. They couldn't speak. The hospital couldn't speak without permission from the Hamlin family. Right. And they've been amazing.
They have.
And the father actually addressed the Buffalo Bills during a team meeting the other day. And then last night, did you watch the press conference with Josh Allen and McDermott?
No.
Oh, that was awesome, too. Davey, did you watch that?
Yes, I did.
And then they had a couple players come in, and that was good, too. That was awesome. And I mean, the emotion and watching McDermott tear up, it was just unbelievable.
It's so funny. I wish I knew this was going on. I was so caught up in the other thing that was painful to sit through is the House vote.
And the only thing McCarthy wasn't doing was crying. I didn't see any tears whatsoever, but what a debacle this is. And you know, the one part that is worth thinking about is this is really a hijacking. Because the majority of Republicans clearly are in favor of moving forward, getting stuff moving, making the enemy the Democrats, not their own party. But you have these 20 or so Republicans who are basically hijacking this whole thing. But the rules are the rules. They have the ability to do it. Let me bring in Ryan Schmeltz, who's been following along on this whole thing. Ryan, good morning from Fox News. What do you think on all of this?
Well, first of all, good morning, and it's great to see some positive news on Damar Hamlin. That's obviously been on a lot of our minds, and it's great to see that he's making progress.
Yeah, it's really a miracle when you think about it. Everything. They did say this yesterday, that in order to be able to be where he is now, everything had to be done correctly. And it's the one thing the NFL did do right. They have a whole trauma scene set up. There's a plan in place. There may not be a plan in place to figure out how to reschedule a game. But when it comes to taking care, there were doctors on that field taking care of him. It
Excellent.
was incredible.
Those medical crews were absolutely phenomenal handling that case, and it's great to see that we're now seeing some progress, and hopefully we'll be unified around this for some years to come.
Yeah, I agree. So on the other hand, if only politics could take a lesson from sports this morning.
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting time to be on the Hill, that's for sure. You know, and it's like you mentioned, Kevin McCarthy's still getting over 200 votes each time we go through this process. It's really only about 20 Republicans, now up to 21, who have been not voting for him and keeping this process going. So it's been an interesting time for sure, but it's going to keep going until eventually either they come to the other side or they're going to have to select a different candidate.
So I've heard the idea of what they've called the nuclear option thrown out there, where you just need, I think 216 is the number they need. So
right.
they would be able to get some of the defectors, if you will. They wouldn't have to convert all of them.
They'd have to change the rules, though. And the Democrats...
Yes.
And they run the risk of electing a Democrat.
Yeah. Although...
Oh, yeah, no.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that option is we've seen that floated around, and it surely is a possibility. But it's like you said. I mean, every single time Hakeem Jeffries has been the highest vote getter. He's been getting 212 each time. So, I mean, if that option is even presented, if these holdouts stay where they are, it's a very realistic chance Hakeem Jeffries becomes the Speaker of the House. It's kind of like you're playing Russian roulette. You would change the rules and just hope that the defectors would take the bait and then cross over. But if they don't, I mean, you've really risked the chance of losing the speakership.
He would need how many? Like 5 votes or something? 5 Republicans?
I think in many ways it would just be whoever gets the most votes in that case. I think that's part of the possibility too.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. So if they did get down that road, another thing was thrown out yesterday. There was one of the programs. There was a Democrat from California who said, "I've reached out to the other side, and I believe he said that he feels that he would have enough Democrats to vote." For a Republican, if they all agreed on that Republican, and I don't think it would be McCarthy, but that the Democrats would come over if they would choose a moderate Republican, that he could gather enough Democrats to come over to the other side and vote for it, and all of a sudden you'd have a Republican in, but one who would have conceded not to this group of burn it down Republicans, but would have conceded to moderate Democrats.
Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, go ahead.
I think it's Ro Khanna you're mentioning.
Yes,
I believe.
Yes. Yep.
And I think some other Democrats like Marcy Kaptur have flirted with the idea of voting for a Republican too. I think all options are on the table at this point. I mean, this has dragged on now for several days, and we've been repeating the same process. And each day we've kind of wondered if the concessions have been met, if the holdouts are going to switch over this time, if they've gotten what they've asked for. But every single time, it just seems like it keeps dragging on and on.
Was it Getz there from Florida who nominated President Trump? He was nominated a couple of times yesterday, and boy, it just seems shocking though. I feel like I woke up one morning and the world turned upside down. Trump got one vote, one lone vote there, and even and this is with these 20 Freedom Caucus representatives who you would have thought he would have gotten more than one, but he's lost. It seems like in the Republican Party he's lost so much ground.
Who are you referencing? Trump there?
In Trump, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, Matt Gaetz. It's kind of seemed like he's going to be on the Never McCarthy bandwagon no matter what. You know, even if some of the other Republicans switch over, he's going to keep voting against McCarthy until the end. And he voted for Donald Trump a couple times yesterday. And there's also been one who's been voting present. That's Victoria Sparks from Indiana, and she originally voted for McCarthy, but then she's just been voting present the last couple times. So you got to wonder what the next step is here, if in fact this negotiations are going to go anywhere, or if this is just going to keep going on and on. But as you mentioned, Lee Zeldin also got a vote, by the way, too.
Wow.
That was on the very first round when the Freedom Caucus wasn't even united around one candidate. There were several different candidates who received a vote in that case. But you beg the question, what are these concessions going to be enough, and when are they going to reach them? And in fact, is that going to frustrate the majority of the Republican Party, who's has made it very clear, we're at 202, you're at 21. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And Ryan, your thoughts? How does this not look? How does this not give us a preview of what if McCarthy does get the speaker position? How does it not give us a preview of what's to come that the Republicans are going to have a hard time getting anything out of the House.
Yeah, I think there's this worry going on that if, in fact, the Freedom Caucus doesn't get their way, that they might hold certain pieces of legislation hostage. Now, there are ways that McCarthy might be, or whoever's the speaker, might be able to remedy some of that. You know, one of the things that they've been asking for is a vote on a term limits bill. Well, if whoever the speaker is grants something like that, will that bring more Freedom Caucus members on board and kind of lower the temperature in the room a little bit there? Or if they're able to get a certain amount of members on Rules Committee seats or some of the other committees they're asking for, will that kind of lower the temperature a little bit? So it just really begs the question, when, in fact, if in fact we ever get through this, you know, how the Freedom Caucus is going to act from there. But I think there is that worry that there's going to be retaliatory politics that go on after this is all over.
Ryan Schmelz, thank you as always. Have a great weekend.
Hey, you too, guys. Thank you.
All right. It'll be very interesting to see what comes today. Rob this morning says, and you may be right, McCarthy trashed these 20 before the November election. These guys were, these 20 are basically, for the most part, the people who did not believe that, who sided with Trump, saying that Trump really won the presidency. So these are outliers. These are Republicans who are outliers. Many of these people will deny what happened on January 6th. So McCarthy, who thought he had it locked up because he thought there was going to be a Republican landslide, a red wave coming in the midterms, which didn't happen. This has come back to bite him. He also said is that Jeffrey said he would not help Republicans, and of course he is the leader. So I think Republicans or Democrats are just sitting here, and each time this happens, it weakens the Speaker of the House. So they're relishing in this whole thing. But there are Democrats who are stepping up and saying, you know, I might be able to be swayed if we could make some rule changes so that A, B, and C, we know that's not going to happen in the next 2 years.
So I did see as one of the possible compromises also was, I don't know what the split would be or who votes for who, but each party would have an equal number of representatives on the committees. So they were saying really it would thwart a lot of the Republican efforts to investigate Biden or Hunter or whatever.
And specifically one of the concessions that was mentioned was that they would not, there wouldn't be all of these investigations into Biden, which are already being investigated by the Justice Department. At least the Hunter Biden stuff. And when I say Biden, I say into President Biden. And, you know, this could be one of those, oh, you did this to Trump, this is what we're going to do to Biden. And if they could avoid that, it probably would be best for the country. But it would take probably more than that for some Democrats to come over to put an end to this whole thing.
So one more comment here, and I guess this is drifting back into football. Fred and Clinton.
Before you go to
yes.
that, what I thought was very interesting yesterday is every time the media would say, okay, it looks like Republicans have cut a deal. They believe they have the votes. They would go through the entire roll call, and it would be the exact same vote as the time before.
So, you know, I'm glad we didn't move on because I wanted to ask, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene is one who is actually...
She cut a deal with McCarthy.
She's not one of the outliers, which is...
Well, she is. She's
an outlier.
A crazy nut. But she is incredibly popular, one of the biggest fundraisers for Republicans right now. And she cut a deal with McCarthy. So she's voting for McCarthy right now.
So
Pearl Burt from Colorado has not cut a deal.
No.
And she's like we're gonna stay with this right till the end. We may not know by summertime is what she's saying.
Her and Hannity went at it pretty good the other night.
And many others. She's gone head to head with people, people in the media. And I'm not talking about CNN. This is Fox News. The arguing, because Fox is, a lot of the people who are regulars on Fox are like, you have an opportunity here. There's an opportunity to change the agenda, and instead we're sitting here and we're fighting amongst each other, and that is not going to bode well for us going forward.
Again, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just hoping, that the change that we see, the changing the agenda, I just wish the moderates on both sides would come together.
For the country?
Work a deal.
For America, you mean?
And exclude the fringe of both
sides.
parties.
Yeah.
The
other thing is you see AOC sitting and chatting with all these people from the far right and Republicans, and all of a sudden there's some weird unity going on between some of the fringe on both sides. It's just odd. The whole thing is unfortunate for the country right now.
And Ben Shapiro last night, he was making a point about something. And he goes, "You're not going to believe this. You don't hear me say this often, but whatever point AOC was making about the shared leadership, he goes, she's probably right."
We can say what we want about her. She is far left, but she is no dummy. She got there, shockingly made it there when no one thought she even had a chance. She is cunning, I would say that. Rob, one more comment. This is going to happen again and again on budgets, debt ceiling, and any spending. I believe he is correct. Mike said,
"Well, but see, not if the middle makes a deal."
Right. If you had Republicans and Democrats working together, like going back to the days of Tip O'Neill, I don't see it.
I don't either, but maybe that's
right.
A good thing that comes out of this.
Yeah, maybe. You may be right. Richard this morning, they are all set up as of late last night. If Buffalo or Cincinnati or Kansas City play each other, the game is played at a neutral site, not according to Syracuse.com. Some of that is true, but I don't think with Cincinnati it is. Cincinnati and Baltimore is another interesting one. Cincinnati wins division by a half a game, but if they meet in a playoff game, a coin toss will determine who has the home field for that game only.
That's
but
against
again,
Baltimore, right?
But again, I think that, yes, that'd be Cincinnati and Baltimore. But again, I think a lot of this has to be finalized today by all of the NFL owners.
Also, it'll make a lot more sense on Monday when we know what the actual final records are.
That is true. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, that's Richard's take. Absent of his comment, absent is Richard saying, "I told you so."
Well, he did, and I mentioned it. He didn't have to.
But Michael said, "I did tell you so. I said there would be no contest." Well, and sure enough, there
you
is.
said it? Or
no, Mike.
Michael, yeah.
And sure enough, there is no contest.
And then since we're back on the game, Fred and Clinton.
But the NFL couldn't say it, could they? They had to wait. They had to wait for good news to come.
Fred and Clinton, I'm going to say this wrong. Commotio cordis. He thinks that's the term we were trying to come up with earlier.
It is exactly the term. Yep.
Not the cardiomyopathy.
Where the blow to the and it has happened in baseball also. So you see a player that takes a hit to the chest, and it just hits perfectly, and it can create a problem with the rhythm of the heart. But as Dr. Hall said the other day, it's got to be a perfect. It's got to be in between a beat. It is so rare, but it has happened, and it happens almost exclusively on playing fields. Although it can happen in a car accident. Interesting stuff. What else do you have there? We just a lot of people just piping in with comments about the sports aspect of this. What do you think it's going to be like? What do you think it's going to be like in Buffalo on Sunday? So that is going to be something.
Yeah, I don't know if the line in the game, the Patriots need the game. I think the line is a flat touchdown, 7 points.
Well, the Bills need the game too.
The Bills do need the game, but so I'm thinking they're either going to come out and they're going to be up 21-3 halfway through the second quarter, or they're going to be downtrodden and kind of still sad. Although this is encouraging news, what we've gotten.
In watching that press conference yesterday, I got the feel that they were out on the field. This is still traumatic, but they're and having the father, Hamlin's father, come out and speak to the team made a huge difference. That's not necessarily where I'm going with the question. I'm more wondering, where do you think we will be when it comes to the atmosphere in that stadium? When game time hits on Sunday, I think it's just going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I wonder, what kind of unbelievable are we talking about? Is it a huge cheering unbelievable? Is it a quiet, somber, unbelievable? Is there a chance? Is there a chance that they'll have a message that it's possible that Damar Hamlin will be talking by Sunday, and that they could have a message on the big screen?
That'd be awesome.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, listen, that would be outstanding. You're right. The more that we talk about this, I feel like the team will be on an upswing with the encouraging news they've gotten. Sometimes, though, there's a letdown after something like this happens. I hope it doesn't come the first week of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it could happen either way. Right?
If they blow out the Patriots and then don't show up next weekend.
It will be really something to see, but it'll be a historic, probably one of the most anticipated games in Bills history, I would think. It's a big one. I know some people going to the game. They're going to see history. It's going to be incredible. All right, some other stuff. Oh, by the way, Joe Mixon is with the Bengals.
The running back, yeah.
He's fuming over this decision.
About the home games?
Yeah, it says that the Bengals have gotten the short end of the stick and just feels that it is in contrast with the rules. The rules say they're not following the rules, and he was actually using the NFL handbook that players have and quoting things from the handbook saying this is not what the rules are. You can't change the rules midway through.
Again, this was an unprecedented event. I really agree mostly with Joe Mixon's point. If that's the way it breaks down in the rules, and that when they go by the percentage and we're doing coin tosses and all this other stuff, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying this was such an unprecedented event, the way this played out. And I thought Dan Patrick said this yesterday, and I thought it was a good point. Remember the Saints game where they should have called the pass interference that they didn't call, right?
You're right.
It's unfair. And what happened to the Hamlin kid is unfair. That's not fair what happened to him.
You're right. You're right.
This is it probably is unfair. You could make the argument for the Bengals. But okay. You're still in the playoffs. You're still going to have a home game, at least for the first round.
The other part
maybe it's unfair, but okay, whatever.
Watching ESPN yesterday, they had some former players on talking about which would you prefer? Would you prefer home field advantage or would you prefer the bye? And unequivocally, both players said the bye.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you are eliminating a week of being beaten up, and you gain a week to be able to get healthy again. And oh, by the way, you're only 2 games from the Super Bowl, 1 game from the championship. So that's pretty amazing when you think about the advantage there. One more. Can I give you one more on this here?
Yeah.
Mike, pipe it in again. I think Buffalo Stadium is going to be we need to score for Lamar. They're going to be they're going to go for a
Damar, he meant.
Damar,
yeah.
Right. They're going to go for a slaughter against the Patriots.
Yeah, I think that's
and it's against the Patriots. I do feel that that's where I would be leaning.
Yeah.
Maybe where I will be leaning. That it's going to be a blowout.
I kind of thinking that too.
Yeah. Or I thought of this. I thought of this yesterday. It's like, no, the Bills have decided we're only scoring 3 points at a time. We're only kicking field goals all game long. We're going to get right to the 2-inch mark right to the goal line, and we're going to be like, whoop, I know it's 1st and goal, but we're kicking a field goal. Number 3 for Damar. I don't see that necessarily happening. Some other stuff. This pedestrian being hit in Utica. It's a terrible story.
Sad. An 88-year-old man.
88 years old. Wow.
Yeah, he was hit by a vehicle. This was Wednesday morning at just before 5:30. Ultimately, he died at the hospital. Police still investigating. No charges have been issued to the driver at this point.
SUNY Oswego. SUNY Oswego College is now SUNY Oswego University. They have also switched now since they've changed the rules on being a university, much like what Utica College has done, Utica University. Oswego is now a university.
Okay.
All right.
And what's the one that's closing?
That is Casanova.
Casanova, yes.
That will not be a university or a college.
No, I always confuse Casanova and Oswego. I don't even think they're in the same direction.
Well, they're in. Their one is over on Route 20, and the other one is 20 below zero most times. Whether it be midwinter ice cream runs or sold-out branded merchandise, Stewart's fans. I didn't know there was such a thing. You remember we talked to Bill Warden. Bill Warden is a huge Walmart fan.
Yeah,
and they would actually travel out to the birthplace of Walmart and go to different Walmarts and that sort of thing.
I didn't know he was that big of a fan.
Just a thing, yeah. But the Albany Times-Union is reporting now that there is a family that decided they're such fans of Stewart's that they went to almost visit every Fun Stewart's, almost every Stewart shop, all 358 of them, as a fun thing to do for the family.
This is like the father son that try to go to every baseball stadium together.
It is. Instead, they went to all Stewart's shops.
In Johnstown, there's 2 Stewart's diagonally right across the street.
That one was an easy one for them.
Yes, it was.
Unlike others who want to take a self-imposed challenge to fulfill a long-held goal, like running a marathon, attending a game at every Major League Baseball stadium, the Freemans, that's the family, convenience store expedition was decided on a whim. One day, while channel surfing, one of the Freemans came across an interview of an older couple that had gone to every Cracker Barrel. And the father said to his wife, that's something. We should do that with Stewart's. How many Stewart shops are there? Turns out there's 358. And the family began their quest.
Amazingly, they did all 358 stores in 45 minutes. That's how close some of them are.
That's right. That was very fast.
Just
amazing how they pulled that off. What else is big here this morning worth getting into? I mentioned that the trainer who actually performed CPR on DeMar was from Syracuse. And Davey, you said he came in with Coach.
He came in with Doug Marrone when Doug Marrone was the coach of the Bills.
If I'm not mistaken, when he left Syracuse, didn't he take he took everybody with him, didn't he?
Right.
Everybody went, yeah.
And was never able to keep friends either because he lost a lot of the people that he took along with him. And Bob Casulo was one of those who was close with him. And they ended up over, if you remember that kicker who had cancer, they ended up in a fist fight over the way Marrone treated him. We've never been able to get Bob Casulo to tell us the full story, but we know it happened.
And it was the kicker at Syracuse, right?
Yeah.
Not the Buffalo kicker.
No,
it was the Syracuse,
right. Yeah, that was at Syracuse. Let's see. How about this? I don't normally follow a lot of the royal stuff, but this Prince Harry has a book coming out, and he is now at the point, as my wife says, he's doing this because his wife is telling him to, and right now he'll do whatever she says, and eventually it will end in divorce. That's my wife's prediction. But he's torching the family, like torching them.
Well, so it's funny. They've got the Netflix show. You said he's got a book coming out, and then he's going to be on 60 Minutes.
And there will be revelations where he and his brother, that he says he was physically attacked by Prince William.
Right.
And
as adults recently?
Yes,
oh,
during all of what has been going on.
Oh, this is what I want to hear.
And at one point, Prince William put his finger into the face of his wife, Markle, when the four of them were basically arguing back and forth. It's all about the fact that really William he is the next in line. So all of the perks, all of the protections, all of everything is going to go to him. And I think he's got a wife who's like, well, that's not fair. You ought to tell him A, B, and C.
You're a brother, too.
Yeah, come on.
So
grow a set, will you? Get out there and stand up for me.
Look.
And I think that's what's going on. This woman is the devil.
Look, if I had a brother and again, they've lived great lives. I'm sure they don't have anything to complain about, even though they'll find things too. But compared to an average person's life, they've lived a very blessed.
Even where he's pulling away from the family, he still lives he has the luxury that the rest of us don't have.
But I would say this though, I could see myself feeling a little shorted if, look, I'm a son and he's a son, but he's going to be the king.
But think about this.
Yeah.
Yes, there would be jealousy. There probably would, and maybe a few side comments here or there. but he's writing a tell-all book. He's torching the family.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
And playing it out in public. And this is the one area where I think you could actually apply it to your own life, to our own simple, measly lives. Would you do that? And would you go on WKTV and during their news talk and be like, I just want to tell you a couple things about my brother and what he's been doing to me. You know, he attacked me recently, and I think everybody should know about it.
Well, I just want to say
Not that anybody would really care, but, I mean, you have a platform every morning.
I was going to say, this is the place to do the tell-all on your brother.
That's a good point, yeah.
Well, I've got one more here. So you got the book. There's the Netflix show. And Prince Harry, this is going to be in the 60 Minutes interview, I believe, this weekend, says that he, Prince Harry, was probably bigoted before he met Meghan Markle. I'm sure she's told him
I think
that.
the 60 Minutes interview was last weekend, but I could be wrong.
Or
maybe it's this weekend.
This says a clip released Thursday.
Okay.
He describes how the British press treated his relationship with the American actor. He says he was incredibly naive about how bigoted the press was. I was probably bigoted before the relationship with Meghan. When asked to explain, he said, I didn't see what I see now. The Prince interview will air on Sunday on 60 Minutes.
There's going to come a certain point in this guy's life where he's going to look back and be like, man, why did I do all of this? Why did I air all of this out?
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be what happens.
And I'm going to tell you something. The power, how can I say this without being offensive? The power of the female, that's all I'm going to.
Oh.
The power of the female is extremely, extremely potent.
I was going to go the brother route and say, if you're not next in line, then get in line.
Yeah, that's right. That's kind of what's being said to him. We have a lot to do. It's Friday morning, heading into the weekend, and we have news straight ahead.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
House Republicans will try to elect a speaker a fourth day. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
So it's better that we go through this process right now so we can achieve the things we want to achieve for the American public.
And Kevin McCarthy still thinks he will win, despite losing on 11 ballots so far, with about 20 conservatives still voting against him.
But late last night, details emerged regarding a deal that's aimed at changing some minds. The deal would allow a one-person motion to vacate, giving members an easier route to oust McCarthy if desired, and provides, among other things, the House Freedom Caucus with stronger representation on key House committees.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff, one of the GOP holdouts, Congressman-elect Ralph Norman, is not committing to backing McCarthy yet, but tells Fox this morning.
All of it makes sense, and we're excited about having these changes made, which should have been done anyway. We shouldn't have to ask for them.
He says they'll meet in about an hour to discuss it all. It's 2 years now since the January 6th Capitol riot interrupted President Biden's election certification. Since then,
the Department of Justice says more than 950 people have been arrested in nearly all 50 states and D.C. Of those arrested, 284 have been charged with assaulting, resisting, or impeding officers or employees. 484 have pleaded guilty to a number of federal charges, with many facing jail time.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz, a special counsel, is investigating former President Trump's actions. A Democrat-led House committee recommended criminal charges. He calls it all a witch hunt, says he did nothing wrong, but the estate of Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who died the day after the attack 2 years ago, is suing Trump for wrongful death, claiming he incited the riot. Kilauea is erupting again in Hawaii. Since it's inside the crater summit, so there's no danger to anyone, not long after it had stopped flowing.
One of our seismologists pretty much called it after the other one ended. He said, we'll be seeing it in a few more weeks.
Ken Hahn is the Hawaii Volcano Observatory scientist in charge. Mauna Loa also recently erupted in Hawaii. Its lava flow has stopped. America's listening to Fox News.
My friend had his home stolen. The crime is home title theft. It's real. It's horrendous, but it's real, and it's everywhere. Now, luckily, this was just a demo, but I saw how criminals all around the world target American homeowners, and that's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock, and you need to as well. And a thief can simply forge your signature on a legal document claiming you sold your home to them. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you, but Home Title Lock does. So protect yourself. Just go to their website. It's HometitleLock.com/Sean, S-E-A-N. Verify your home's title is still safely in your name. Then just register your address for a free, no-obligation home title report for your files. That is a $100 value, absolutely free. That's HometitleLock.com/Sean, HometitleLock.com/Sean, SEAN.
Good morning. We have mostly cloudy skies, 32 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's Epic January clearance sale. You can save up to 70% on furniture and mattresses, closeouts, one-of-a-kinds, and more. Shop My Carl's today in the New Hartford Shopping Center or at Destiny USA. Utica police say an 88-year-old man has died after being struck by a vehicle on Eagle Street this week. Francis Paco of Utica has been identified as the victim. Police say it happened shortly before 5:30 on Wednesday morning. The driver of the vehicle remained at the scene. Police are withholding the driver's identity at this time. The UPD accident reconstruction team still investigating. Thus far, no tickets have been issued. Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers and the Oneida County Sheriff's Office asking for help locating this week's wanted person of the week. The Sheriff's Office looking for 41-year-old Jay Mather of Rome. He's wanted on an assault charge out of the city of Rome. A photo and more information at WIBX950.com. New leadership at Notre Dame Junior Senior High School. The Board of Trustees announcing the appointment of Richard Ambruso of Utica as the interim principal of the Junior Senior High. He earned his master's in education at SUNY Polytechnic and actually began his teaching career at Notre Dame in the late 70s. A sad announcement coming from the Utica Zoo. One of their most beloved members of the family there has passed. Polly the cockatoo was humanely euthanized on Thursday. The bird had been there for over 50 years, 53 years. They think its actual age was between 70 and 80. You can see New York State license plates from the last 100 years on our website right now. Take a look and see what the plates look like in New York State the year you were born, or really any year in the past century, right now at WIBX950.com. And the State Department of Health calling on residents who use e-cigarettes and other vaping products to make a resolution to kick the habit this year. Doctors say those products contain nicotine, which is highly addictive, and it can have a negative impact on your health. Data shows e-cigarette use is high among many groups of adults, especially those aged 18 to 24. Anyone struggling with addiction can get help by dialing 1-866-697-8487. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast. Chance of showers later this morning. Rain shower chances tapering off around noon today. We'll have a high reaching 42 degrees. Overnight tonight, we do have a chance of rain showers. Early morning tomorrow, a rain-snow mix possible, and then snow showers possible early on Saturday morning. Saturday's high in the mid-30s. Sunny skies on Sunday. Once again, a high in the mid-30s. Bill, right now, mostly cloudy. 32, WIBX News Time, 7:06.
All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, we have a big NFL weekend coming up. It's going to be very interesting to see how it's all approached. The Bills will be playing for more than just a victory when Buffalo hosts the New England Patriots at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. Second-year safety Damar Hamlin is awake after suffering cardiac arrest during the Bills game. Yesterday, an amazing press conference of the doctors. Later, starting at 4:30 in the afternoon yesterday, the Bills came out. McDermott and Josh Allen started it off with a question and answer press conference yesterday. And a lot of great questions in that press conference, I thought. Anyway, the Bills-Bengals game will not resume. The NFL announced Thursday that the game has officially been canceled and ruled a no contest. Today, it will all be finalized on what that means for the playoffs. The reality is, if the Kansas City Chiefs win tomorrow, they get the top seed.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
But you know what, though? That top seed is really beneficial, for home field advantage in the AFC Championship game, which they're not going to have.
Right.
I think if they play the Bills and the Bengals. I'm assuming they'll play the Bills or the Bengals.
Yeah. The Eagles are eyeing the top seed in the NFC this weekend when they take on the divisional rival New York Giants. What do you think about that?
I think the Philadelphia Nagels will probably mop the floor with us again, although I have to say, I've been on the I'm a Giants fan. I've been on their case all year. I thought they've stunk all year. I thought Daniel Jones was incredibly overrated, as was their 6-2 start to the season. In my opinion, they've looked the best they've looked all season in the last 3 weeks. So I don't expect them to come out and beat Philadelphia. They can't move up or down in the standings, so I don't expect the starters to play the whole game. But if the Giants maybe get to play Minnesota in the first round, we lost on a 60-something yard field goal. I think maybe we can hang tight with them.
Anything could happen.
Don't know that we're playing them, though.
NHL, the Rangers extended their winning streak to 3 games after taking down the Canadiens 4-1 in Montreal. The Blues took advantage of the Devils' poor home record and earned a 5-3 victory in Newark. The game was tied at 2 apiece heading into the third period until Brandon Saad and Robert Thomas each scored for the Blues to take a commanding 4-2 lead. The Islanders fell 4-2 to the Oilers. The Knicks visit the Raptors tonight, and, of course, it's a huge NFL weekend, and games will be played tomorrow and Sunday, and, of course, there was no Thursday night football last night.
Yeah,
also mentioned Utica City FC is at home tomorrow and Sunday, and the Comets will host Hartford. Actually, it says host Hartford.
Yes, tonight, and then on the road for 2.
And then they're on the road Saturday and Sunday. So the Comets are home tonight, and the Utica Pioneers at Manhattanville for 2 games tonight and tomorrow. Anything else you want to add?
Just real quick on the Giants. They're stuck in the 6th spot. They can't improve. San Francisco's the 2 seed currently, and Minnesota's the 3 seed. The Giants would play the 3 seed. Whether it's San Francisco or Minnesota, again, they played Minnesota close. Minnesota, I feel like, has been extremely lucky all year. I think they're 11-0 in one-score games this season. Also, San Francisco has a backup quarterback, and don't they have Mr. Irrelevant? Isn't that their Smitty? San Francisco's quarterback,
Brock Purdy,
Mr. Irrelevant. So, again, I thought a couple weeks ago the Giants were going to get their clocks cleaned in the opening round of the playoffs, but based on their opponent, maybe they can, little stunner here.
All right.
Give me some hope, Bill. Don't roll your eyes.
I'm not rolling any eyes. There'll be no rolling of the eyes here.
And Jimmy B and the boys are down in Virginia to host the Cavaliers tomorrow at 5. Game is on the ACC network.
Sports brought to you by IBEW Local 43. I want to tell you about WIBX presenting Jimmy Fallon, who is on each day on this program or on this radio station from noon till 3 every day. In fact, he was talking a lot about Utica yesterday and his upcoming trip, February 17th and 18th at Fat Cats Comedy Club. So he'll start in the morning here with us. Then he'll do a show from noon till 3. Then I believe he'll be hanging with Davey for a while.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it'll be Fat Cats Comedy Club for the weekend with shows. The 7 o'clock shows are both sold out right now. There is room in the 9:15 show both Friday night and a little bit of room on Saturday. So get them now before you can't. Go to fatcatscomedyclub.com. With comedy every weekend, reopening for the second half of the season next weekend, January 13th and 14th, with Pat DeBeer and Jimmy McCartney. DeBeer is he's awesome. We've had him in studio before. He does the puppeteering, if you will.
So Saturday when Jimmy comes to town, the 18th, he's doing, as Bill said, Keeler show, his show live here. He's doing the comedy show, and then you guys are going up to Bald Mountain. You guys are going to climb a mountain Saturday?
Yeah, they're going mountain climbing. Yeah, that's going to be good.
Yeah.
It'll be exciting.
Tell you about my best friend.
You started a rumor mill. I gotten 3 texts and 4 personal phone calls asking me if I'm really going to go down there and work for him.
Well, I mean, Davey, are you? I mean, let's
comment.
Okay.
That's what I've been saying.
All right, no comment. So take it for what it is. The official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And coffee, espressos, lattes, the most delicious flavored lattes that will get you through the cold winter months. And we are going to get a little cooler this weekend. Yesterday was quite beautiful. I mean, we didn't.
Well, the sun makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference having the sun shine into your house. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. We won't see it for another month.
It's true.
Lattes, iced coffee, breakfast sandwiches, bagels made fresh every day. And the same thing with their donuts, made fresh there every single day. Get a box of coffee. The drive-thru is lightning fast. It's Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford. And here to give his endorsement to Daylight Donuts is Bob Johnson, who loves Daylight. Bob, your testimonial, tell us all about it.
Well, hello, Bill. Happy New Year, Bill, Jeff, and Davey.
It has been a while, Stefan. Good morning.
Thanks, buddy. Happy New Year to you.
What was your? I'd be interested as a Bills fan. What was your take on all of what happened yesterday?
Well, I was very happy. Actually, I'm a New York Giants fan, but
that's right.
I forgot
like
about
the Bills as well.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we have the Mets in common. You and Jeff have the Giants in common. Yeah.
And there is news about the Mets this morning. Contract talks with Carlos Correa has stalled, and that's going to open the door for other teams to talk to him.
All right, so, Stefan, what do you know about this? Because I've seen two separate headlines come up on my Google feed that both said, one, Mets and Correa agree to like a 13-year or an 11-year contract. The other one said, also indicated that the deal was done, but it's not done.
It's an injury.
No, it's not. He had a physical, I guess, or he failed the physical, and that's holding things up. And now they have to redo the contract, and I guess he had an injury to his ankle when he was a minor leaguer. That is the issue.
So all the stories I'm looking at right now that all basically come from late yesterday is that Correa's camp is in contact with at least one other team after the Mets talks have stalled. Now, that's his agent going out and basically saying, the Mets, you better get your stuff in gear because otherwise we're going somewhere else. And I don't know that I necessarily see that as being
a bad
bluff.
Thing. Yeah, well, I don't know that it's a bad thing. I'm just going to say this. He's a very good player. 28, he's young. I'm not saying he's old, but he's almost 30. We want to sign him to 11 years? Get out of here.
Yeah.
He's not even A-Rod. We're going to sign him to 11 years?
And that may be part of the problem. What do you want to add there, Davey?
And his agent is Scott Boras, so he'll get whatever he wants.
See ya.
It's going to be interesting.
Let him get it in Miami.
It'll be interesting. Yep, that'll be interesting, Stefan. All right, anything else, man?
And I believe the Bills are going to win big this weekend in honor of DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also do agree with Manaski. Things like this, when they happen, could go in the other direction.
And I'm more next week I'm worried about.
That's also true. You're right.
Let down the second week.
So this weekend will be really huge. But I anytime you have any bit of anything emotional or controversial, when it gets logged into that locker room, anything can happen. It could go one way, it could go the other. But I maybe do agree, Stefan, that I think we're going in the other direction. At least this weekend, Bills blow out the Patriots. We'll see what happens. All right, man, have fun.
Bye, Bill. Have a good weekend.
You do the same. What do you think the would and the world we're living in right now, where we can barely put somebody in jail? There is talk out there about what the acceptable form of the death penalty. What is the of execution? What do you think is acceptable? Because right now there's lethal injection, although that is. Well, lethal injection has struggled.
Yeah,
because they can't get the actual drug that just kills somebody. So we've seen cases where they linger a bit and they don't actually die right away and they suffer. And supposedly, with execution, we try to avoid that suffering.
So I would say this: I don't know what the exact answer is, but I almost feel like the person who's going to be executed maybe has some say in it. Like, what's acceptable to them? Can we shoot you? Can we?
Well, that has been a controversial topic as well, because some have asked for, like in one case,
firing squad, right?
Firing squad or a guillotine has been requested before, and the state usually does not honor that request. Evan Brown is with Fox News. So what is an acceptable form of capital punishment?
Well, that is the big question. In fact, in South Carolina, the state Supreme Court is being asked this question because, like so many other states, they've not been able to obtain the drugs used for lethal injections because the pharmaceuticals won't sell it to them anymore because they're taking a political stance here. So the state of South Carolina passed a law that said, well, we could do either execution through a firing squad or through the old-fashioned old Sparky, the electric chair.
Yeah.
And they would even leave that up, in some cases, to the death row condemned person to pick what they wanted. Now, some inmates, along with activist groups, have sued over this, saying that these options are inhumane. And that they are they would therefore violate the prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment because it would hurt. And so the Supreme Court is now being asked. This would be the state Supreme Court of South Carolina is being asked to review this and kind of come up with whether or not it's okay to either kill someone with a firing squad or by strapping them into the electric chair and flipping the switch.
I almost feel like the lethal injection is probably the most humane way to do it. Because they just fall asleep if it's done correctly.
If it were to work the way it was supposed to work, then you would be right. The original. The original way of doing the lethal injection was to anesthetize the person first so that they're actually out cold and then they don't even know when they're being injected with the medication that stops their heart and whatnot. But that has not worked well as the pharmaceutical companies have stopped providing those kinds of medications, and some of the alternate medications have not worked well, and there have been people, as you've mentioned, they've lingered, or they've even, I think someone actually survived.
I believe so.
And was harmed. So it is the whole purpose of a lot of people sometimes say that, well, who cares? They're dying anyway. And the thing is that the purpose is that we're not trying to be mean and torture someone. That is cruel. But if there is a death penalty, the penalty is death, not torture. So it's important to just have the death happen immediately and painlessly.
When you talk about cruel and unusual, I don't know if this is in the same vein or not, but no pun intended there. But when they talk about compassionately, if somebody's got a terminal illness, they compassionately give them, they euthanize them essentially, right? Which I know is legal in maybe a couple of states. But is that the same drug concoction that they use for a lethal injection? And if it is, or if it isn't, why not?
Yeah, I don't know I don't know if there is a true compassionate killing of terminally ill patients in this country.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you would travel out of the country to do it. So there is.
Well,
Didn't Seattle do something?
I don't think so. I don't think it's legal in the United States.
It's not legal.
But there are. I believe that I actually have a situation of someone that I know who has a plan that they will leave the country to.
Wow.
Do what they do it the way they want to do it, and but one final thing, Evan, and I know you probably have to go, but one of the most awful memories I have is when my family and I had to take our dog to. The dog was sick. They did the lethal injection, if you will. Right there, we were there. It was calm. The dog just went to sleep. You wonder why we can't. If we can accomplish that for animals, why can't we accomplish that for humans?
Animals are property. Humans are sentient beings, and that's the difference. And as much as we love our dogs, dogs don't necessarily fully comprehend their own existence. And when it's time to put your dog down because they are suffering, then you have that capability. We don't do that with humans. That's a line
But I understand that. But what I'm saying is, if we're doing lethal injection, why can't we use the same type of drug that is used on animals that they go peacefully? That's the part I guess I don't understand. Or is it that
that's those types of drugs were being used? The pharmaceutical companies are the ones that stopped selling them to the states.
Pharmaceutical companies can only kill people through opioids, apparently, and cause one of the biggest crises that we've dealt with in modern times. It's unbelievable. But you're right that it's a complicated issue. It'll be interesting to see what South Carolina does. Evan Brown, as always, we do appreciate you maneuvering through us. I know it's not easy.
No worries, guys.
Okay.
Take care.
Have a great weekend. Thank you.
So, and what I had said was euthanasia, and I thought I remembered that it was legalized. Now, euthanasia is not.
I remember the story about what's his name?
Dr.
Kevorkian.
Yes. Euthanasia, via Wiki, is currently illegal in all 50 states, but assisted suicide is legal in 10 jurisdictions. Washington, D.C., California, and the states of California, Colorado, Oregon, Vermont, New Mexico, Maine, New Jersey, Hawaii, and Washington.
Wow, I did not know that.
Wow. What's the difference between euthanasia and assisted suicide?
I don't know.
I thought they were, synonyms, one for the other.
John is in Bridgewater. Hello, John. Hello.
Hey, Bill. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey.
Dave. Hey, Bill, did you hear Fela pumping up Davey yesterday on the show?
I'm telling you, this is getting sickening, isn't it?
I
am just.
I had to stop what I was doing. I had my headphones in, and my man Davey up in WIBX in Utica.
Davey. That's all he talks about. I'm telling you. It is awesome, though, isn't it?
So, also, hey, I know that was a terrible, terrible accident on a football field.
Yes,
it's going to be a tough game. I don't think the Bills are going to blow them out. These guys are going to be going at it. But the only thing is, there's a lot of things in the back of their minds. Are we going to go? What I mean, as far as
here's what I was thinking. And John, I disagree with you, but I don't disagree with you. So what I feel like it could go either way.
Right.
But I do think it's going to go with a Bills blowout on Sunday. I just feel that way. However, I wonder. I was again. That's just how I'm thinking. I'm not saying you're right or wrong.
No, I understand.
I think you're right when you say it could go either way, and I agree with that. But what I was thinking yesterday, when Josh Allen was up there talking and tearing up.
Yeah.
I mean, still tearing up when people talk about this. You got to get into a frame of mind that I think probably NFL players are able to do. But here's what I wonder: when Josh Allen decides he's going to hurdle a 350-pound linebacker. Put himself in complete vulnerable jeopardy. Is he going to think twice about that now?
I don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like going to be in the back of everybody's mind.
It might be. You may be right.
I'm going to hit this guy, and is he going to? It's going to be a tough game. So, I'm not a Bills fan, so I'm sorry.
I can tell that.
All right.
But either way, this has been, man. Let's look at this another way, and I'll be yelled at for this. But this week has been a huge week for the Buffalo Bills brand.
Yep.
Wow. Just the praise. And for McDermott, he has walked out of this as just the one coach right now that everybody's watching.
Yep.
It's the Cinderella story. If anybody's looking for that Cinderella story, it's the Bills going on and winning it all for number 3. So... Wow, what a boost. As horrible as this was, what a boost for the brand.
Look, I don't disagree.
How about their practicing? Have they been full practice this week yet? I don't know if they have or not.
They were pad practice yesterday, but more
walkthroughs.
They did a walkthrough Wednesday, and it was a lighter practice. Full practice will be today.
Let me just follow up on something you said there about the Bills and it being a big week. I just think it's worth mentioning also the Bengals head coach, who off the top of my head I can't think of his name. I know the running back, Joe Mixon, complained a little bit.
The name is Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor, the whole Bengals team, and their fans. Class act.
Also, this has been a huge week for them as well.
But they were so classy with how they handled it.
The fans were phenomenal. The money raised, much of that money for his charity came from not just from Buffalo, but came from Cincinnati. Yep. The way they were silent in that stadium. I mean, this was it. This week, the real winner. This was a week for us at a time as a country, at a time where I think that so much wrong goes on and so much hate and anger and fighting back and forth. This was a time where all of a sudden there was a single person who was injured, and that's all anyone cared about.
Yep.
And then forget about the NFL. Just the fans, the way people reacted around the country. John, I think it gives us a little hope.
Yep. Hey, Bill, have a good weekend, guys.
You do the same. Thanks, man.
All right, bye-bye.
A couple of comments via the WIBX app. John, before he called in, messaged in to say, in all caps, screaming at me, Jeff, rules are freaking rules. Follow them no matter what. I generally agree.
That's what the Bengals player is saying.
And I generally agree. But again, this was unprecedented. This doesn't ever
couldn't
happen.
You just revert back to the rules and just follow what is normally done? All right, the rules say if this happens, if a game doesn't go off, then, here's what A, B, and C happens, and here's how we'll deal with it.
And Big Honey says, and I half agree and I half disagree. He says, I don't blame Harry. Now, I do blame Harry, but he says because Meghan is hot. And he's right about that.
Yeah, like I said, Big Honey, the power of the female. What's interesting, says Mike, the drugs, the drugs that they need for execution come from Europe, who will not send them. And that's really a lot of these pharmaceutical companies. We are not able to get them. I just would think that somebody would be able to get them, but these states like South Carolina cannot.
And according to the remote member of our program, Andrew, he says assisted suicide, the victim administers their own drugs. That's the difference.
Okay.
And he said that's why Kevorkian got in trouble. He got arrested after he was the one.
For doing the assisting.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a break. Wow. It's already 7:30. We have a ton to get to. And a very cool story coming up. We're going to do our free money question of the day from Hobica. It's a chance for you to win $100 from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica. And then the other night on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, not Fela.
He's the non-funny Jimmy Fallon.
So. Although a lot of people like him. This kid, who I believe is from Utica or New Hartford.
Utica, I think.
Was on Jimmy Fallon playing guitar and did a very funny parody song, if you will. And we'll play a little of the song. Daryl Ron is his name. And he'll be on the radio with us coming up in a few minutes. But he's living in the New York City area right now. And he was on the Tonight Show, had his guitar performed. It was a competition between two raw original songwriters that are trying to make a career out of whatever they're doing with their music. And it was him and another female, and he won the contest.
Do you remember when he was in studio?
I thought I remembered him in studio.
Yeah, so I'll give you $5. No, I won't. If you can think of the song that he sang. It's a Croce song.
Did he do... So, well, now I just picked Jim Croce songs. But he didn't do Leroy Brown.
No.
Did he do Time in a Bottle?
Operator.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really good. I remember.
Yeah, I do remember.
I wasn't familiar with him, but I remember he came in and did it, and you two were like,
"Yeah, this kid's good. This kid is good."
Great.
Well, he was awesome on Jimmy Fallon
and hilarious too.
And it's a funny song. It's about. I believe the title of the song is "It's 2023. Would you go work out for me?" Love it, and he led us right through it. It was a very funny song. Love it, and we'll have him coming on in a few minutes. Pretty cool. 7:31. Hold tight. Coming right back at WIBX.
You work hard for your money. Buy quality flooring from NGEMS Flooring America. Right now, your dollar can go further during our inventory reduction sale. Save on in-stock waterproof click flooring, carpeting, hardwood flooring, laminate floors, and area rugs. NGEMS, where friends send friends. You work hard for your money. Buy quality flooring from NGEMS Flooring America. Right now, your dollar can go further during our inventory reduction sale. Save on in-stock waterproof click flooring, carpeting, hardwood flooring, laminate floors, and area rugs. NGEMS, where friends send friends.
Get your home ready for the holidays with Adirondack Home Furniture. With free local delivery, sale prices on in-stock items and special orders, and a knowledgeable staff, your home will be ready for the holidays in no time. Adirondack Home Furniture has a large line of quality USA-made furniture from top manufacturers. Create your dream home for the holidays and beyond with Adirondack Home Furniture. Entertaining this year? Well, entertain in style with a beautiful top-quality sofa from Smith Brothers Furniture. Looking for a new recliner for that someone on your list? They have a large variety of power flex steel recliners and lift chairs in stock. Stop in today to Adirondack Home Furniture and get your home ready for the holidays. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, and home office, you'll find everything on your holiday list at Adirondack Home Furniture, Riverside Center in North Utica, or browse our inventory online at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com. Adirondack Home Furniture, helping you get your home ready for the holidays.
After 32 years as a Mason, Steve retired right before the holidays, but that career took a toll on his body, and he never slept well. He said he was going to get a new bed, but he and his wife, Angela, never made it in before the holidays. They came into Mattress Express in New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Red Lobster and selected a Q9 King number bed, flex head. Steve liked his side firm. He was a 40. We elevated his head and feet and put the massage on high. He said he hadn't felt that comfort in years. Angela, who'd been sleeping in a separate bed because Bill couldn't sleep through the night, liked it softer. We set hers on 32, elevated her head a little less, her feet a little higher, and put the massage on low. They said it was perfect. They were thrilled to find out we held over our promotion of $1,000 prepaid Visa card or a 75-inch flat screen TV. Steve got the TV. It was affordable because they qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down. Make that trip today or call 1-800-NEW-BED.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Bill, cloudy skies, 32 degrees, WIBX News Time, 7:35. This news update is brought to you by the Home Show at Turning Stone. Calling all vendors, showcase your home services business in upstate New York's largest regional home show at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino, February 3rd through the 5th. Visit homeshow@turningstone.com for more information. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy still doesn't have enough votes to become Speaker of the House. Before the House adjourned for the night on Thursday, McCarthy lost 5 more floor votes, marking 11 straight ballot losses. The House will reconvene today at noon. A group of about 20 hardline Republicans are opposing McCarthy's candidacy. Russian media reports a universal truce is in force in Ukraine, but the hours leading up to the temporary ceasefire saw renewed fighting. It's unclear whether hostilities have stopped. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky saying Russian President Vladimir Putin called the 36-hour truce to stop advances by Kiev's forces and to bring in more Russian troops. Michigan football coach Jim Harbaugh reportedly under investigation for NCAA rules violations. Sources tell Yahoo Sports that the Wolverines football program is being investigated for numerous possible violations and that Harbaugh failed to cooperate with investigators. Smitty, if Michigan won last weekend, do you think that we'd be talking about this story right now?
No.
We could wait till after the championship game. Bill, the Mega Millions jackpot closing in on $1 billion. An estimated $940 million is on the line in tonight's drawing, scheduled for 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and bringing a smile or some relief to many people, especially football fans here in central New York. Some good news for Buffalo Bills cornerback Damar Hamlin. He continues to recover. The road to recovery is getting better, by the way. Doctors saying yesterday Hamlin has made substantial improvement, is able to communicate with them, and even asked who won Monday night's game. Hamlin fell to the turf in the Monday night contest, suffering from cardiac arrest. He remains in critical condition. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for continued cloudy skies. We do have some rain shower chances through the morning. That will taper off around noon today. Looking at an afternoon high of 42 degrees. We do have a chance of showers tonight as well. After midnight, some rain showers could mix with snow showers. An overnight low of 33. Chance of snow showers to start your day on Saturday, mainly before noon. Otherwise cloudy and a high of 36. Sunday, mostly sunny and a high of 35. Bill, some clouds, 33 degrees at 7:38.
A little chillier today, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay, listen, coming up, we'll speak to Daryl Ron, who was on The Tonight Show the other night, performing with his guitar, a very funny song. We'll play a little of that song for you as well. And right now, Davey, I thought we could do our free money question of the day. It's a chance for you to win $100 from the Hobeika Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobeika at 315-724-1600, Hobeika, for all of your legal needs. Davey, this morning we're going with caller number
6.
6?
So it was going to be 3.
I thought it was going to be 3.
You want to go 3? Let's go 3.
Are you sure?
Yeah, let's go 3.
You want to do? Why would you choose 3?
In honor of Hamlin.
That's right.
Caller 6 is going to be upset with you.
Yeah.
No, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Okay, going with 3. Going with 3. Caller 3. Your chance to win $100. Let's see if we can do 2 in a row here. 315-736-0186. Right now on WIBX.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
If you're like most Americans, you can see things are out of control. Global problems have local consequences, too many of them. And if the next news headline spins us into chaos, you'd better be ready. Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Today's the day to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. As we all know, calories equals energy equals survival. And as you'd expect from a true preparedness company, our food kits are in stock and ship quickly. Those who know what's coming are preparing today. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
I never write reviews, but Navage is so amazing I had to leave one. Nothing's ever cleared out my sinuses as well. I'm blown away by how Navage works. That's a review from Carrie, and it's one of over 100,000 online testimonials praising Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I've talked about flushing out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs. How Navage's powered suction can help you breathe better, and how your nose is the body's air filter, and Navage will clean it out. But don't take my word for it. What do people like Chad say, who wrote, Navage has helped clear out my nasal passages every single night. My wife says my snoring has gone way down. Snorefest be gone, unquote. Navage is the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million customers to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
This is Keeler.
All right, sorry. Here we are. Good morning, and it's Kevin and Clinton ready to take a shot at winning our free money question of the day. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you ready to become our second winner in a row?
I'll do my best.
All right, here we go. The answer I'm going to be looking for is going to be I want to make this easy enough for you to be able to win it. So it's going to be decade. So the category is name the decade. All right, here we go. You'll have 7 seconds to go here. The Bills-Bengals game has been canceled. Before that, which decade was the last time an NFL game was canceled, not including strike or COVID? Ready, go.
40s.
Is it the 1940s?
Oh, wait.
Man, you were good. You were very, very good.
Wait, it was canceled for what? Not
the
COVID?
The Bills-Bengals game has been canceled. Before that, what decade was the last time an NFL game was canceled, not including strike or COVID?
Okay.
And the answer was the 1930s. Ooh. You were so close.
Oh,
yeah.
Close.
You were right in the neighborhood, man. Holy cow. November 17, 1935, Boston and Philadelphia at Philly. The snow was so bad, they canceled the game and didn't make it up.
Wow.
1935. Okay, that goes back a long ways. But, we had a lot of cancellations or postponements during COVID.
Yeah, that's
and,
what
of course,
I was thinking.
strikes have caused lockouts and that sort of thing. All right, we're going to give you from the Comets and Mohawk Valley Garden, Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card. It's a $25 gift card good at all of their properties, Aquavino, Babes, 72 Taylor and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, and any concession stand or even the gift shop at the Adirondack Bank Center. So you can use this all over the place. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up. And, Kevin, have a wonderful day.
You too, thanks.
All right, thank you, man. Yeah, 1935. Interesting, right?
And it was because of a snowstorm. I assume the two teams weren't in contention at the time.
It's saying regular season NFL game was the November 17, 1935 contest between the Boston Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles, canceled due to driving rain and snow that left the field unplayable. That was November, so my guess is the teams were doing so poorly it was not even worth making up. I don't know. But remember, the NFL was a completely different league back in 1935. So it may not have they may not have worried the way we do today when it comes to playoff implications. And
oh, that's true.
There was no worry about TV time and TV contracts or anything like that. Yeah, this, and by the way, Daryl, who's coming on in a second, Daryl, is it pronounced Rain?
I think it's Ron.
Ron.
I think it's Ron.
Daryl is from the Utica area and now living in Brooklyn, pursuing his career. He was on The Tonight Show the other night. They were doing a contest called Battle of the Instant Songwriters. Let's play a little clip from The Tonight Show the other night, if I can get it to go.
I don't know how, but you made that sound cool. That was amazing. All right, let's meet contestant number 2. What is your name? Where are you from?
My name's Daryl Ron. I'm from Utica, New York.
Hey, Daryl, Utica. Oh, my gosh. I love Utica. And Daryl, tell everyone what your song title is.
It's 2023, Go to the Gym for Me.
Love this idea.
What will you be playing tonight?
Guitar.
Hey, there you go. Double guitar tonight. Fantastic. Go on the stage and get ready, Daryl. Thank you for being here.
All right, we'll play a little of the audio coming up, but we have him, Daryl Ron, on the air right now. Good morning, Daryl. Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
That was a funny song, man.
It was.
Yeah, it was fun to write.
I love doing song parodies myself, and but the rule is always like it's hard to make a slow song funny. It's just hard to do that. You did it. You killed it. The joke every time, it was just awesome. It was a really funny song. And by the way, I feel the same as you. Maybe next year I'll do some crunches.
Yeah.
So how did you get into this whole thing? How did you get on the show in the first place?
Well, they do this segment. It seems like every a couple times a year, maybe.
Yeah.
And a good buddy of mine was on it last year, and I think that the recruiter, they kind of just like follow those people and see, who they're friends with and who might be interested, and then they talked to him. They reached out to me, and then I auditioned, and then basically submitted an audition, which was a similar idea. They gave me a different title on an email and said, in 1 hour, send us a song with this title, and I did that, and they're like, great, cool, we'll be in touch. And it didn't work out one time. They reached out, they submitted me, and it didn't work out, and then they, a couple months later, got back in touch, and now here we are.
Same song both times? No, right?
No, different song.
What was so did they give you the title and then you wrote the song? Or
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that part of it. We used to do we used to do a thing here in studio where you Steve Bennett, who's guitarist, musician in the area, used to come on, and callers would be like, all right, I want you to sing about condoms or whatever. And he'd have to do a song about On the Fly, which was kind of cool. So that's neat. They give you the idea, and then you ran with it.
Yeah.
Really well, yeah.
Well, he was thinking about running. He didn't actually get off the couch.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
So tell us about the experience of getting on the show, the big audience, a national TV audience. How cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. I mean, I deal with some pretty intense anxiety, so I had to kind of think of it differently to get through it.
I'll bet. Yeah.
So I had to go in on Tuesday for a COVID test at the office.
Okay.
And even when I walked in that day, I started feeling a little crazy. So I got a stomach ache. Was not sure if I could do it. And then once I got there the day of, I was just like, well, it's just one task at a time. And that's how I looked at it. But everybody there was amazing and really nice and easy to work with. And yeah, the studio was nice. They put me in this little room to kind of work all day, which I liked because I didn't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, and then the writers would come in and see how I was doing, whatever, and they were great. And then yeah, so it was a great experience. And as far as actually going on and singing, I don't really remember it because it was so fast and strange, but it was great.
And then, of course, the beauty is you get to watch it back and, do everything you can to remember and lodge these moments into your mind because as the years go on, you'll lose some of that stuff, but you're going to certainly want to remember this. What do you want to – I know we had you in studio and we loved you when you were in here. You did the Jim Croce song.
Yeah.
And that was, what, couple of years ago?
Yeah, at least – maybe 5.
Yeah, because it was before COVID.
6 years ago, yeah.
So, and we just knew immediately this kid's going to be on the Tonight Show. We just knew it. So, what are you doing down there, and what's your goal? Do you want to be a musician? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, it changes all the time, but as I get older and realize, the amount of money I need just to get groceries, but I think right now it's like, I'll write songs every day. I'll, record them and eventually make albums every year.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I want to continue to do that. And playing shows is very important to me. So the way I'm looking at it is more, my ultimate upcoming goal would be to get on a proper tour as a supporting act, because that would be the next logical step for me. In terms of what I've done. So that's definitely where my head's at now, just for the next, couple years. And after that, I would love to, eventually, hopefully find enough listeners to go on a tour of my own. Sure. At least, and the goal right now is to get 100 fans in 10 cities. That's kind of my actual goal, because that's kind of like 100 people that will come to a show. That's kind of like a great place to spring from. So I've heard. So I'm kind of just looking at it like that and taking it every day.
We're speaking with Daryl Ron. Daryl is. Where'd you go to? You went to high school at Proctor or where?
New Hartford.
Yeah, New Hartford.
New Hartford. Yeah.
So, and were you in the music department over there? Did the music department play a role in your going down this road at all?
Oh, I mean, yeah, they were extremely supportive. I did choir and band and jazz band and all that stuff, and every teacher I had always made me feel like it was worth it.
Yeah.
And also I had a guitar teacher here, Steve Warzala, who he really made me think that I could write songs way before I actually could. So he helped a lot.
And do you play out at bars and that sort of thing full time, or do you have another job that you have to do to pay the bills and buy the food?
No, yeah, I have a day job.
That sucks,
and I've had
doesn't
that
it?
for basically since I moved to New York. A couple of weeks later, I got the job, and I've been there ever since. But now it's changed so much, and I work from home now, which don't tell them, but I can write songs at home in between emails.
We'll keep it quiet.
And so it really it's turned out well. For like I don't make a lot of money in that job. It's not something that I'm like climbing a ladder at. So that's something to consider. But it's a great job to be able to also play music, because this month is actually probably the first real month in New York City that I could pay my rent and utilities with music.
Wow.
So,
wow. Good for you. That's big.
But it's huge, but it's it's like there's a reason I still have the job, because that's not every month.
Yeah.
But,
and Daryl, what's your online presence? If people wanted to listen to your stuff, can they get it on SoundCloud or iTunes, or where is your stuff?
Yeah, I mean it's everywhere. SoundCloud not so much, because I just forget to use that. But Spotify and iTunes, Apple Music, all that is where I usually direct people.
Okay, and it's RAHN is the last name.
And Daryl, Darryl. Yep. Daryl, real quick, on as far as it goes with the Tonight Show, do you have additional opportunities you think in the future, or is this something where you've already been used for this semi-recurring bit, so you're probably not going to get asked back?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to go back, especially for that. I would, now my goal is to, do well enough later on to come back as the musical guest.
With the girl you competed against, is she a musician, or they just pulled her for this contest?
She is too. Yeah, her name is Anaya, and she's from Kentucky, and she also, I'm assuming she does all the same things as me. She's also on Spotify. And,
Yep.
We hope to see you back on there, man, performing your own stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Do you have just a second to hang?
Totally. Yeah.
All right. I want to play a little bit of the song here. This is Daryl Ron on stage on the Tonight Show the other night, doing his new hit, 2023. Go to the gym. Here we go.
Woke up New Year's Day, looked down at my phone, at all the pretty people getting ripped and getting toned. I was filled with inspiration, then I turned on my TV. It's 2023, go to the gym for me.
I love it.
The membership's expensive, plus it's way too far to walk. And picking up my clothes technically counts as a squat. But I think it's amazing that you're doing Pilates. It's 2023, go to the gym for me.
Yeah, they really liked it.
Why would I get on a treadmill when I could simply sit still, just breathing in the steam of mac and cheese? Maybe I will do a crunch in 24, but it's 2023, so go to the gym for me.
That's very, very funny.
And as funny as that is,
Come on now, give it up for Daryl, everybody.
Yeah, they loved you, man. They loved you.
And as funny as it was,
the crowd was really nice.
Yeah,
They're really nice.
Yeah, you connected with that crowd.
He sounded great, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it was a
really,
funny
really
song, but he also sounded great.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to anxiety, because you showed none of it there. You got into a zone. It was great.
It was survival mode.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, cool.
But what helps there is that room, the way it's set up, it sounds just like the clubs that I play.
Right.
So I was able to look at it as just like a gig for a second.
Yeah.
And then think about all the other stuff after.
So, and doing what you're doing right now in New York City has got to be cool all on its own. Just because you never know who's going to walk through the door when you're playing in a bar.
No, yeah. I never know if anyone's going to walk through the door.
That's probably true as well. And then, fine. Had you ever been a guest in the audience at a show like this?
I was once. Yeah, my friend brought me to see Fallon one time.
Oh, okay. So you had a feel.
I knew what the room looked like, which I think was helpful. But yeah, they gave us a rehearsal.
Yeah, that first time you walk into that room, you're like, my God, this is so small. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
But it has an intimate. The sound is so great, and there's an intimate feel to it. So for you, it was just another gig. So very cool. I'm sure you have a lot of people and family up here that loved the fact that you were on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, I've been surprised. You know, I mean, I knew it was a fun thing, but I feel very supported. So.
All right, Daryl, we're going to look for your stuff online. Daryl, Darrylrahn, Daryl Rahn, from, you say Utica because nobody would know where New Hartford is. Then again, nobody knows where Utica is. But
the greater Utica area.
The greater Utica area. Daryl, great stuff. When you're home, we got to get you in studio, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, thanks. Have a great day.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Daryl Rahn, how about that? That's
cool.
It's 2023. Go to the gym for me. I love it.
I love the picking up the clothes is considered a squat. That's so me.
Oh, and just bending over and tying your shoes is an effort. Believe me, once you turn 50. News straight ahead.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Kevin McCarthy supporters are more optimistic. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Despite him losing on 11 ballots for House Speaker so far, Congressman-elect Mike Waltz just told Fox.
There were some breakthroughs yesterday and last night. I think we had the most productive talks that we've had all week, frankly.
Making more concessions to the 20 House Republicans who have refused to vote for McCarthy so far, and they plan more talks this hour before the House reconvenes at noon. Congressman-elect Ralph Norman says the changes are promising, telling Fox.
You're seeing the democracy at its best, and so we'll all come together and get behind whoever it is.
Do you know what today is? January 6th, now 2 years after the riot.
Start making a list, put all those names down, and we start hunting them down one by one. Yeah!
Many who took part have been punished, and many who held the line honored. That will happen again today as the president awards the Citizens Medal to men and women who put their lives on the line to protect democracy.
That's Fox's Gernal Scott. In addition to more than 900 rioters charged, the special counsel's investigating former President Trump, who insists he did nothing wrong and told supporters to assemble peacefully. The estate of a Capitol police officer who died the day after, Brian Sicknick, is suing the former president for wrongful death, accusing him of inciting the mob. Ukraine is skeptical, and so is President Biden, of a supposed 36-hour ceasefire order from Russia's leader to observe Orthodox Christmas today and tomorrow.
We have to do everything we can to help the Ukrainians resist Russian aggression, and Russia is not attempting to slow up.
The president's readying $3 billion in new military aid. Germany's also providing new aid. Later this hour, we'll get the monthly hiring update.
The report will show how job creation, the unemployment rate, and worker earnings fared in December. Economists expect a continued cooling of job growth at the end of the year and are forecasting that 200,000 jobs were added during the month.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. America's listening to Fox News.
My friend had his home stolen. The crime is home title theft. It's real. It's horrendous, but it's real, and it's everywhere. Now, luckily, this was just a demo, but I saw how criminals all around the world target American homeowners, and that's why I protect my home with Home Title Lock, and you need to as well. and a thief can simply forge your signature on a legal document claiming you sold your home to them. Homeowners insurance and common identity theft programs do not protect you, but Home Title Lock does. So protect yourself. Just go to their website. It's HometitleLock.com/Sean, S-E-A-N. Verify your home's title is still safely in your name. Then just register your address for a free, no-obligation home title report for your files. That is a $100 value, absolutely free. That's HometitleLock.com/Sean, HometitleLock.com/Sean, S-E-A-N.
Mostly cloudy skies, 33 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all of your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information. Utica police say an 88-year-old man has died after he was struck by a vehicle on Eagle Street this week. Francis Paco of Utica has been identified as the victim. It happened shortly before 5:30 on Wednesday morning on the 1100 block of Eagle Street. The driver of the vehicle did remain on the scene. The UPD's accident reconstruction team still investigating. So far, no charges have been filed. Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers and the Oneida County Sheriff's Office asking for help locating this week's wanted person of the week. The Sheriff's Office looking for 41-year-old Jay Mather of Rome on a charge of assault in an incident alleged in the city of Rome. New leadership at Notre Dame Junior Senior High School. The Board of Trustees appointing Richard Ambruso of Utica as interim principal for the Junior Senior High School. His master's in education was earned at SUNY Poly. He also began his teaching career in the late 70s at Notre Dame. A sad announcement at the Utica Zoo. The passing of one of their most beloved members, Polly the cockatoo, was humanely euthanized yesterday after being at the zoo for 53 years. They believe the bird was as old as 80. You can check out New York State license plates for the last 100 years on our website right now. Different designs over the last century in the Empire State at WIBX950.com.
I had a Mark Butler talk to him just a little while ago. I remember the assemblyman Mark is now the mayor of Newport, New York. Mark was actually on the website this morning. Amazing he can get logged on. He said he found his license plate. It was actually wooden. It goes way back. It's one of the older ones, long before the blue and the orange.
I hear the paint sticks better to the wood, though, than the metal ones they have now.
It's perfectly on a buggy. It's awesome.
There you go. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for a chance of rain showers through this morning. Rain showers tapering off around 1 this afternoon, a high of 42. Chance of rain showers tonight. And then overnight, a rain-snow mix possible. Otherwise cloudy, a low of 33. Saturday, chance of snow showers earlier in the day. Otherwise cloudy with a high of 36. It'll be sunny on Sunday, a high of 35. Mostly sunny again Monday with a high just shy of 40. Right now, cloudy, 33. WIBX News Time is 8:06.
And from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, been a lot of Buffalo Bills talk this week. And the Bills playing for more than just a victory when the Bills host the New England Patriots in Week 18 at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. Second-year safety Damar Hamlin is awake after suffering cardiac arrest during the Bills game Monday night with Cincinnati. Hamlin is still in critical condition but has shown remarkable improvement since collapsing on Monday night. We'll talk a little bit this hour about the press conference yesterday with the doctors and really some of the crazy questions some of these sports reporters were asking, like, how embarrassing. It was really embarrassing. The Bills and Bengals will not finish their Week 17 game. Michael said they wouldn't. Richard said they wouldn't. And now the NFL has confirmed it. The NFL announced Thursday the game has officially been canceled and ruled a no contest. We'll find out officially today what all of this means, but this is really it. Cincinnati probably got the shortest end of the stick. If the Kansas City Chiefs win tomorrow, they'll get top seed. If both of them win, it gets tricky, both the Bills and the Chiefs. If all three end up winning, including the Bengals, it gets even more interesting. But the Bengals really kind of have no shot at this point based on all of it. But we'll learn more today when the NFL gathers to confirm everything.
Yes, and may I make a quick correction? Are you still doing sports? Sorry.
Yeah, I am.
I have a quick correction. On I said the accident was on Eagle Street, the fatal.
Oh,
it was
okay.
I apologize. Erie Street.
A couple other things. The Eagles eyeing the top seed in the NFC. The Rangers they extended their winning streak to 3 games after taking down the Canadiens 4-1. Blues continue to hand the Devils home woes. The Devils losing 5-3 the final. Islanders falling to the Orioles. I should say the Oilers, not the Orioles. And baseball season is coming. And that's all I have there. But this weekend, a lot of action. Comets are home tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center. Then they're on the road Saturday and Sunday. They play Hartford tonight. And Utica Pioneers, the men's hockey team at Manhattanville. 2 big games tonight and tomorrow night. They'll return home finally next weekend.
Yes.
They've not played in probably over a month at this point. And then Utica City FC playing tomorrow and Sunday at the Adirondack Bank Center.
Via the WIBX 950 app, we actually have our own submission of a working out for 2023 type song.
Oh.
After our segment with Daryl Ron. And in fact, I missed the message, but that's okay because here to perform the song live is our very own, the Human Calculator.
I will not be performing. I could read it, but no, I was fascinated with the story. I thought the kid's story is great. But I've been playing around with ChatGPT, the AI artificial intelligence platform, and you can just say, write a song about this, and it generates them.
It does it for you?
Yeah,
seconds.
Look,
this is the
we
thing.
don't remember phone numbers anymore, and we're going to lose all of our creativity at some point.
I was going through this with my son just the other night, and he's saying it's all done now. There's no more creativity. It's all over because artificial intelligence will just do it for you. They'll write a song, and what they can do today is amazing. Imagine what this technology will be able to do in 10 years, 20 years.
Well, I invented a new calendar.
You did?
It's a 13-month calendar, 28 days. There's a 0 day, a 0 month, but it's mathematically perfect. Every day is the same day of the week. And I have been arguing with this artificial intelligence platform for almost 2 weeks about what is the best way to keep track of time. Why do we use the one we use? It doesn't make sense with the words, with the numerics, with any of it. And so it's been fascinating, a conversation I never have had with a human. So there are some advantages to it.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's been fun. Plus, my 9 pattern, how everything goes back to the number 9.
Yes.
I've been in an argument with the AI about that for 2 weeks because I'm asking it, what is the best way to teach our kids 1 + 1? How do we make sure they know 1 + 1 is 2?
Yeah.
How do we validate that, not just make them memorize it? And my system is, the most efficient way, I believe, and versus the way that we teach it in schools. And so it's been a fascinating time for me to just sit there and figure out how to better explain what I'm trying to do.
Well, you're talking to computers. I'm just sitting there watching TV.
Whether it's the computer you're arguing with or whoever programs the computer, let them know that you can beat them in a multiplication race. So they can't tell you anything.
That's what's funny about ChatGPT.
I'm smarter than you. Goodbye.
Well, the ChatGPT, that's one of their weaknesses is basic arithmetic after 2-digit times 2-digit numbers. So
well, now it is. Imagine where it's going to be.
It's that's why I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records is racing a calculator, but racing AI might be a
little
whole different
thing.
monster.
I'm usually arguing with Siri. Like I said, message my wife, not call her. I hate it when it does that. Or it'll call somebody I don't want it to call. Like, I don't want to call that person. I hate that person. I don't even know why that person's in my address book.
So, but do you guys agree with me, though? We are really harming ourselves, I think. And I think the telephone, remembering of someone's phone number is a great example. Nobody remembers numbers anymore because you don't have to. And if you don't have to be creative, then you kind of lose that skill. And I think we're losing that in other things when it comes to robots as well. Think about this. Like even something like how many exits on the throughway.
Yet I think what computers have offered us allows for even more creativity, to be honest with you. It's all, so you don't remember phone numbers anymore. There are other things you remember, right? Well, or are we losing our memory?
You gonna tell them or am I? You're wrong, Bill. You're completely wrong.
I'm sure I am.
I disagree with both of you. I think you're both right.
I love it. All right. I want to, Mike, this morning, our audience is amazing, and they're actually writing Daryl Ron, who was just on, who was on the Tonight Show the other night. He's from here. New Hartford graduate, said he's from Utica, now living in Brooklyn, and he was on The Tonight Show doing that song. It's 2023. Please go to the gym for me, or go to the gym for me.
Yeah.
Daryl's next song, according to Michael, should be for next year. It's 23 and me. Are you really my daddy? I like it. I like it. I think it could go somewhere there. Who's your daddy? That would be. There are several of those shows on TV today, so he may fit in with that. Mike, thanks for that. Stand by, Scott. You'll hang with us if you can.
Yes,
through the hour. There is an opportunity for you to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And it is a benefit, a raffle for the Root Farm in Sequoia. Joni Grandy is on the line right now. You can still get your tickets, and you can buy them right online, which is awesome. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it's very simple, Bill. Thanks so much for all your assistance here with this raffle that we're having. But it's not only Super Bowl tickets, remember.
Yeah,
you also
golf
get
too.
2 tickets in the box seat for Waste Management at the Phoenix Open the day before the Super Bowl. So it really is a package. When people say things are priceless,
yeah,
this one really is priceless. I mean,
it is.
Who knows if this would ever happen again, where the Super Bowl is in Phoenix the same weekend that the Phoenix Open is, you know?
Yeah, that's really cool. And you get $1,000 spending money to help you with your flight and all that. So
exactly. So, and I'm going to lower your odds a little bit for you. I'm going to say that anybody, even continually going through the weekend, that buys a ticket, you're going to have about a 1 in 1,000 chance of winning.
Wow, those are good odds. That's better odds than what you'll get at the Adirondack Bank Center.
In the raffle?
In the raffle.
50-50, yeah.
And just slightly better odds than you'll get in tonight's Mega Millions drawing. Just slightly.
Yeah, that would be nice too, huh?
Yeah,
the Mega Millions. But, then you'd probably be able to afford a Super Bowl ticket on your own.
That's right.
This play here, it's only going to cost you $100. As you said, it is for a great cause. We are so fortunate to have the Root Farm right here in our backyard. Largest equine recreational center in the United States, right in Sequoia, New York. I mean, and we help so many people. It's an amazing place, and I urge anybody having a bad day, take a ride up there, and I assure you, your day will change for you.
Everything.
Joni, the therapy offered up there, is it for developmental disabilities, physical disability?
All of the above. We are a 100% integrated community up there. We have all disabilities, all ages, all children, all adults, all veterans. We have a big integrated program up there, which, in my opinion, for children, is extremely important to have these children around other children growing up, and then. Yeah, I believe you grow up to be better adults, but that's not an opinion.
1 in 1,000 chance of winning, somewhere in that range. That's really good. Go to rootfarm.org. Am I correct?
You are, but we only have until Monday, so we are time sensitive right now at this point. Because I wanted to give people, 3 weeks time to be able to make some of their plans.
Good idea. So the drawing is Monday
evening,
night.
Aaron Hamlin will draw.
Okay, cool.
And Joni, my attention span's too short. I'm sure you said it, but is it 2 tickets, 4 tickets?
2 tickets to each. 2 tickets to the Super Bowl and 2 tickets to the box seats at the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
Gotcha.
Wow,
excellent.
Very cool. Okay, Joni, thank you. And again, the drawing will be Monday night. It'll be live streamed on your website, rootfarm.org.
That is correct. That is correct. And thank you, and thank all your viewers. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Have a great one.
All right.
Be safe. Bye-bye.
Rootfarm.org is what it is. Those odds, what do you think mathematically? Those are pretty good odds.
I've lived in Phoenix for over 30 years. I've been in the Phoenix Open hundreds and hundreds of times. It's the social event of the year. The Super Bowl and the Phoenix Open do happen once every several years. I've been to a couple of them. The route from the Scottsdale golf course to the Glendale Stadium is crazy, in a car on Super Bowl Sunday. So all these PGA players and their staff got helicopters Literally, they would get off the 18th hole, jump on a chopper 100 yards away, and be at the stadium in 5 minutes.
That's cool.
Wow.
And so it's quite and the private jets in Scottsdale Air Park, which is right next to the golf course, is bigger collection as you'll ever see. So just to go, there's the last year or the year before, there were 200,000 people on the Saturday of the tournament on the golf course.
Wow.
You know, they'd probably sell more tickets, maybe, if they did the 2 Super Bowl tickets, the 2 Phoenix Open, and then a putt-putt game with you while they're
I'll
in
take
Phoenix.
it. I'd love to go out there. It's been a while.
Very, very cool. Anyway, it's rootfarm.org for your tickets. And they're $100 a piece, and they're saying like a 1 in 1,000 chance to win. Those are pretty darn good odds. By the way, the Mega Millions. What do you think? Is it when you look at the Mega Millions? Do you play it? I mean, it's $904 million today.
940, yeah.
940, nearly $1 billion.
I do. For me, that's like I'm not a gambler.
Right.
So that is my gambling. So, you know, if it costs you $4 a week or $6 a week, whatever it is to buy a ticket, I do have fun with numerical analysis. I have certain numbers like that I try. You know, if it's a big jackpot, usually like the numbers 6 or 28 show up, and it's weird little things like that happen. Like when it was over $1 billion, there was a 28. Is the number 3 going to pop in tonight because of the Buffalo Bills thing? You know, it was stop the nation for a minute. So, you know, but those are all coincidences because those lottery balls have no memory.
Right.
And so they forget who got drawn the week before.
I'm trying to think, how do you like, let's see, I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I bought 100 tickets. So
For
not
tonight?
really. No, I bought 5 tickets.
Well, somebody said to me, they go, well, I was going to buy 1 ticket, and then I decided to buy 2. So that doubles my chances. I said, well, instead of 1 in 300 million, it's 2 in 300 million. So which, you know, so at what point is it not help you? But, you know, it just scares me. Living in Vegas for a couple of years, you see people gamble money they don't have. So I'm just nervous about that. And
So-
euphoria.
How do you like these? Is it the Mega Millions, the Mega Millions number? So you have the 5 numbers, and there's the Mega Millions number. So I'll tell you what mine, 17.
Why 17 though?
I have no idea.
Okay,
I did a
'cause,
quick
you know,
pick.
I have a relationship with each number, so you know.
Number
I'm
8.
Curious.
I have number 8.
Dated them all.
8's the biggest number in China for money.
Number 20.
20, good. 20.
Number 24.
Okay.
And number 8. Now, what I find interesting,
Wait,
though,
you got 8 twice?
Twice. How'd you do that?
I do have 8 twice. I don't know. It's a quick pick.
I don't think they're going to let you get away with that.
If I win twice. Anyway, I think I'm going to go buy 1 more ticket. I'm going to include the number 3 because nowhere in my numbers is the number 3.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
but
you never know.
You know, I got 5 out of 6 once on the Mega Millions, and you know it was like $50 million if you win it, but if you get 5 out of 6, it's like $1,000. So
we've talked about that before. The drop off.
Yeah,
is
there's
unbelievable.
a certain series of numbers where you'd get $1 million, where you'd win $1 million.
Yeah,
but I think you have to
5
have
out of 6.
I think you have to have
with the number.
We
5
got to
with the
have the
bonus.
Powerball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm going to
interesting.
try it tonight.
Drawing is tonight. I mean, it's $940 million.
Most entertaining $2 ever.
Yep.
Now, you gave the example of the same number being drawn twice in a row or 3 times in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, well, what did you say?
Well, the balls don't have a memory of
Correct.
what was drawn before.
But that works both ways because it's not astronomically impossible, but the odds are much larger to have the same number back to back. But once the number's drawn, it doesn't have a memory and know the long odds. It's just as likely to come up on the second number, right?
The same combination could come up 2 drawings in a row. Same odds.
And you don't really need a combination for the lottery, right?
Well, the combination of 5 winning numbers
The
and
5 winning numbers.
Powerball,
They could be in any order, but then you got to have the Mega Millions.
That's
You're
right. But
so that changes that. It's very interesting. That's the one class. Well, that's one of many classes I completely slept through in college. All right, let me do this because this is going to be another day today where McCarthy is going to try to become the Speaker of the House. Who knows? We've gone through 11 votes, which is, by the way, a record. It's incredible. Representative Dan Crenshaw, I don't know if you heard this on our airwaves, who is a Republican representative from Texas, He has the eye patch, if you recall.
Yes.
Blasted the 20 House Republicans who have opposed House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy's bid for the speakership. And, I mean, he was livid on Guy Benson's show. I want to play the audio. Here we go.
Who's on the media beat, host of Media Buzz here at Fox News. As we come to the air on this Wednesday, let's start with a Fox News alert. It is day 2 of the theoretical House Republican majority. And as of this hour, there is still no Speaker of the House. The House cannot convene, cannot do business, cannot swear in members, cannot begin any effort at moving an agenda until first there is a Speaker of the House. And minutes ago, we just witnessed the 5th ballot in this Speaker's battle.
It is unbelievable. That was 5th. We're now at 11. We're now at 11. So Crenshaw came on Guy Benson's show and he unloaded on the GOP here.
Right here. Nice guy. Met his wife. She's nice. I have not been overly impressed with his leadership.
Okay, obviously, I had this all queued up and ready to go and completely blew it now. And I've got Guy Benson. I'm just going to let him tell it because I'm trying to now randomly find the spot where Crenshaw comes on, and it's just embarrassing, and I apologize for it. Guy, good morning. Please rescue me here. I apologize.
Well, we could keep talking about Mega Millions instead, which is actually a wonderful conversation.
Well, it's wonderful if the numbers pop up. Just talk about Crenshaw here, livid, as are many Republicans right now.
Yeah, I mean, I was really struck by how seethingly angry he was in that conversation. In fact, we started our interview 2 days ago where he had to go vote because they go alphabetically through these roll calls. And so they had just started. He's in the C's. And so he began his sort of rant and then went quickly to go vote, then called us back. He wasn't done. He wanted to keep talking, called us back to continue going. And at one point, I mean, he was going after specific members in the holdouts, Lauren Boebert from Colorado, Bob Good from Virginia. That got a little bit of attention, some of the language he was using there. He also compared the holdouts to terrorists. And that's the one that really, I think, set off some alarm bells for some folks. Tucker Carlson played that clip on his show. And I did push back. I sort of said, hey, if you guys are trying to reach an agreement in any good faith, does a word like terrorist really help? And he said, look, it's a figure of speech. I said what I said. I'm not going to apologize for it. If you're not going to want to come into the octagon and get punched in the face occasionally in this business, then don't get into the octagon. That was his answer. So, look, I am very sympathetic to his position. I understand his anger and frustration. It is shared by hundreds of House Republicans. I'm not sure terrorists is the right word to use here. But, I think that there's a point at which, and I'm not sure we're quite there yet, but there's a point at which there has to be the fundamental question for the people who are still refusing to go along with any of these plans. What is the point and what is the end game? And we might get a few of those answers today, but we might not. That's the thing. We don't know.
Is the end game to basically saying, listen, I understand we're a minority, a very big minority when you think about it. There's only about 20 of these members here versus the rest of Republicans. And basically saying, but the rules give us the power. The rules and the current count of Republicans in the House basically give us the power to hold you hostage. And that's, I guess, if you talk to a couple of the members yesterday, they're saying they're willing to just keep going as long as it takes.
Yeah, this is, in the past, it's gone, I think the longest one ever took weeks to resolve. And it seems like at least a couple of them are willing to keep going. I'm not one of these folks who's clutching at pearls, being like, oh, no, there's been a few days with no Speaker of the House. It is what it is. It's not, a crisis yet. I do think at some point you need to have a Speaker, you need to have all the members sworn in, you need to have the business starting to get underway, because while some of these people, mostly from safe districts, might feel like, they're flexing their influence right now, and to your point, sort of the dynamics at play, average voters expect the people that they send to Washington govern. And, first impressions matter. And this is the first impression of the new House majority, which was a diminished majority compared to expectations already.
Yeah.
This is the first impression they're making to the country. If they get their act together, get a speaker teed up, and start governing, then I think this will be like an interesting, long period of just saga and drama with, lots of acrimony. And that is going to be a problem for the Republicans who are trying to make power. We are here on your behalf. We're here to stop what the Democrats are doing, and we're representatives yet. And hopefully they'll get this thing teed up, somewhat functional. Today, players in this, they don't know how this ends. So measly commentators like us, we're just here in the cheap seats trying to figure it out.
Listening to some of the speeches given on the floor yesterday, talking about earmark. A lot of congressmen, congresspeople, those representatives go to Washington. They end up getting handed money. They take it back to their district. Only some districts get it. Others don't get it. It's just a flawed system. Let's get rid of all of the earmarks. I mean, I just don't know that I see that happening. And they are the minority, right? So shouldn't that be telling them something? They're the minority. They're never going to get where they want to go. The only option they seem to have is to be able to shut everything down.
Right. They're the minority of the majority, but I think what they're making clear, and by the way, this also applies over to the moderate side of the party as well, all it takes is 5 people, because it's so close. The majority is so small compared to the Democrats. It only takes 5 people to just stop anything dead in its tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And so whoever's speaker, that's the other thing. It's like, who really wants this job? Whoever's speaker, like every single vote is going to be a high wire act where, the opposition party, as long as they stick together, if the Democrats stick together, which they have done all week, if this is, again, a preview of how they're going to act, that you're like hurting these cats have actually gotten, McCarthy's agreed, a very bumpy ride.
Poll, just because they've been through it 11 times, it seems like he's 20 away, and then they vote. And then it's like, okay, we're going to get it this time. And they vote.
Yeah,
and nothing's changed.
We have a deal. It looks like they've cut a deal. Let's see what happens with the vote. And nothing changes.
I mean, somebody suggested yesterday, and maybe it was Swap, he keeps sending people over to talk to Gates and all these other people. Why doesn't he go over and talk to them?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he talked to them for the last, month. And he was like talking to them every day, buying them pizza. Hey, why don't we talk about this? I mean, the problem is, it seems like I'm actually not, and in one of the clips that you actually accidentally played, you might have heard, I'm not like a huge McCarthy guy. I've not been bowled over by his leadership, by some of these skills. Like McCarthy's team, based on what they were seeing in their numbers and their Republicans to win like 40 to 60, they were caught flat-footed by 20 dissenters. They thought the number was going to be lower. I mean, if that's your first attempt at counting votes, and whipping votes, which is like the job, if you're Speaker of the House, it's not really an auspicious start for him either. I mean, I think the strategy right now seems to be Chip Roy from Texas is one of the guys negotiating. He seems to be one of the holdouts who actually has goals. I might agree with some of them, disagree with some of them, but at least there's like an actual plan on his part.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones seem to have no plan, just sort of blow the thing up and they hate McCarthy or whatever. There's no real viable alternative there. But if Chip Roy can get this deal that's being widely reported and in fact, bring 10 people over, then the math changes in McCarthy's favor. The momentum favors McCarthy. And then the last remaining holdouts are really out on this island.
Yeah.
And maybe the pressure starts to build. Whether they're actually, susceptible to that pressure, I don't know. And whether this deal goes through and Chip Roy can really deliver on 10 folks, I also don't know. But the McCarthy people, I think, want to sort of grind it out, not lose any of their supporters, start to gain supporters from the holdoffs and peel them off, and then let this thing keep going. I think that's their strategy.
Yeah.
Maybe it will work, but still ground to a standstill, then what all this time, plus enough of these other guys to actually get that person the gavel. I guess we'll see.
Guy Benson is on WIBX 6 till 9 o'clock, and we appreciate it. I apologize for the butchered job on the great clip that I had queued up, but, it is what it is. Guy, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Much appreciated, guys.
Have a great day, great weekend. And tune in tonight at 6 o'clock for Guy Benson, and it's 8:34. Coming right back, Scott Flansburgh has big news with the Basketball Hall of Fame. We'll talk about it when we come right back. Next on WIBX.
Some people got COVID and thought, well, that wasn't such a big deal. But you can get COVID again, and next time it could be worse. Disease or diabetes. But with an updated vaccine, you have better find updated COVID vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for.
When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation,
contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance.
To tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
After 32 years as a Mason, Steve retired right before the holidays, but that career took a toll on his body, and he never slept well. He said he was going to get a new bed, but he and his wife, Angela, never made it in before the holidays. They came into Mattress Express in New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Red Lobster and selected a Q9 King number bed, flex head. Steve liked his side firm. He was a 40. We elevated his head and feet and put the massage on high. He said he hadn't felt that comfort in years. Angela, who'd been sleeping in a separate bed because Bill couldn't sleep through the night, liked it softer. We set hers on 32, elevated her head a little less, her feet a little higher, and put the massage on low. They said it was perfect. They were thrilled to find out we held over our promotion of $1,000 prepaid Visa card or a 75-inch flat screen TV. Steve got the TV. It was affordable because they qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down. Make that trip today or call 1-800-NEW-BED.
River Hills Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in Central New York. It's all about the services that are provided to anyone, no matter what you sell your house for or your property. It could be $1 million property. It could be a quarter of that. It doesn't matter. You get services every single time your house is shown. Your listing agent is there. Your listing agent is there to answer questions, to make sure the lights are on, to make sure the house is prepped and ready to go. That is the River Hills way. And there's the book, 40 to 100 pages filled with details about the house. It's all of these services provided by River Hills Properties that other agencies don't do. And you know they don't use the lockbox. That's why your listing agent is there to answer questions and assist and to make sure everything is set up perfectly to speed up the process and lower the stress level, because selling a home can be stressful. In Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, and all of upstate New York, it's River Hills Properties. Online, riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, I want to give Scott Flansburgh a chance. We're going to bring in the county executive, Tony Pacenti. Good morning.
Good morning.
Scott Flansburgh, good morning.
Good morning.
Human calculator, meet human county executive.
Yes.
There we go. All right. You have some big news here.
Yes, the Herkimer 9, which is the foundation and company we started 2 years ago, had a goal of proving that basketball was invented in Herkimer by this teenage kid at the YMCA named Lambert Will. We took a year and a half, put a book out called Nay's Myth, Basketball Stolen Legacy. Washington Post covered the story, talked to the Hall of Fame about the situation. And over the fall, we submitted Lambert Will to be put into the Hall of Fame permanently. And that nomination was accepted and announced on ESPN over the holidays. And the voting is February 17th. And then the finals will be announced Feb 17th at the All-Star Game. April 1st will be the actual list of people being put into the Hall of Fame, announced at the Final Four, March Madness on April 1st. So he's one of about 50 folks on the list, but he's on the list now. And everybody on the board has to go, who is Lambert Will? And when you look up Lambert Will on Google or your search engine, the first thing it says is Lambert Will was recognized in the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1992 for his contribution to the early developments of the game, including potentially the rim and the net, tracing back to Herkimer having the first one. So we have found, since then, we found evidence that he actually invented the sport, sent it into Naismith. They hijacked it, never gave him credit. And we have discovered evidence through a 130-year conspiracy to show that the Naismith family and Springfield Hall of Fame have done things to stop this from getting out, including in the 50s, they altered documents and dates. They had a war. Herkimer and Springfield went to battle for where the Hall of Fame should go, and the whole board that voted on it was from Springfield, so that's why
the fact that they've accepted the nomination, I think, is probably a pretty big step.
It's huge. I got to meet with the senior VP of the Hall of Fame over a year ago, and we talked about all the different things, and he just said, hey, the guy deserves to be heard. You know, our job is to tell the story of basketball, not to protect James Naismith.
Yeah, did you tell him what day his birthday was on?
Yeah, he appreciated that, too. It came in handy. I think it helped me get in the door.
Yep, I do. I agree.
And so we need help because now we get this far, and come to find out, the Basketball Hall of Fame is a secret society. If you do a search on ESPN, Basketball Hall of Fame secret, there's articles will come up this show that nobody knows who votes to get into the Hall of Fame. These people are selected privately, and they have a 3-year reign. They're not allowed to tell anybody that they're voting.
Okay.
And after the voting is done, all the votes are burned, so no one even sees how anybody voted. And it is based on the ESPN article that came out in September. It's the most secret voting process in all of sports. And how convenient.
Sounds like what?
Albany.
Sounds like
well, and how convenient when you're trying to hide a conspiracy that we believe Naismith stole basketball from this kid, that nobody knows who votes or how they votes. And so now we've got that to overcome. One thing at a time. So we need help getting the word out about Lambert Will and getting credit for what he did.
Look, Bill, like you said, the fact that they've even considered this and accepted it, I think speaks volumes because, look, if he was just a kid playing the game after it was invented, so what? I played the game, you played the game, Tony played the game. Doesn't mean anything. But the fact that they're acknowledging that he has some significance at that time shows he was around the origin.
Well, here's what's crazy. In 1992, 100 years anniversary, they asked the Lambert Will family to bring memorabilia from Herkimer to show that there was a game in Herkimer in the early 1890s. And they did. They were so excited because they've been blown off for 50 years since the Hall of Fame started. That display was celebrated. There was a little ceremony. The Lambert Will family left. And when they went back a month later, the display was gone and has never been seen since for over 30 years now and not returned to the family. And then in 2006, James Naismith's son, his grandson, physically threatened the two guys who wrote the book, the Foste brothers who wrote the book, Naismith, physically threatened them to stop working on the book. The dates on the 13 rules are altered because we have a picture of Lambert, Will, and Herkimer playing basketball in a basketball uniform with the ball 1891 on it. James Naismith didn't invent basketball until supposedly December 1891, really February 1892. But there's no picture ever of him playing basketball.
Right.
And so, he's the first player. He's the first coach. There's several ways to get into the Hall of Fame. So we've made it to the next step.
Scott, somebody could argue maybe, you said the doctored photos, maybe somebody could argue that this Lambert Wills photo was doctored.
We had a forensic expert go through these photographs, and I just emailed you both a story that came out of Box Score News that shows not only the picture of the kids in 1891, it says 91-92 on the ball, then there's the picture of the next year where it's 92-93, and then a picture of the 93-94. And you can see kids, you can see that they're aging and getting different. Wow, so we have 3 photographs in a row. So there's no way you could have doctored that one year. And then the creme de la creme is we found at the Utica Library, we found an article that is a picture of these 9 guys, the Herkimer 9. That's why we're called the Herkimer 9. It was a baseball team originally. This picture of them having their 50-year reunion in 1940 because they actually invented it in 1890. They didn't have the first game till February 1891.
Wow.
So we have more evidence for the first game in Herkimer, which was a year before the first game in Springfield with Naismith. So I don't know how it's going to go, but anybody out there, we need help reaching sports writers, networks. ESPN just passed on doing a TV special about this, but with this new stuff and now Lambert being on the nomination, maybe we can get him in. So we need all the help we can get, guys.
What do you want? People should just check it out. Check out the story. Look it up. Look and
Herkimer9.org.com and
the
Herkimer Originals, the semi-pro basketball team. We play this Sunday in Bennington, Vermont. And next weekend we have 2 home games. So I brought you tickets for Saturday night's game at Herkimer College. And Sunday is at West Canada to commemorate my amazing sister, rest in peace, Kathy Penry. That's where she was president of the school and stuff. So
sorry to hear that.
We're doing a ceremony for her there.
Very nice. Scott Flansburgh, thank you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Human calculator. Herkimer invented basketball. Utica invented arguing. Apparently, I believe.
Come out of Herkimer.
What's that?
A lot of great things come out of Herkimer.
It's unbelievable when you think about the inventions that came out, and this is
and
part
the people
of
that came out.
And the people who came out, here,
myself,
right? I mean, think of it. People don't realize that the county executive
born in Herkimer.
You know what they also invented in Utica?
What's that?
Term limits. No,
term limits. There you go. Okay, Scott. Thank you, man. Enjoy the weekend. Big football weekend. County Executive Anthony Vicente is in. You want me to keep going? Let me break quickly, and we'll come right back with the county exec. Thank you, man. It's 8:47. Quick break. Come right back at WIBX.
Have you ever wanted to learn how to make jewelry? How to design animations or create pottery? Munson Williams in downtown Utica offers courses for artists of all ages, interests, and abilities. There are also art appreciation classes for those more interested in learning than creating. Classes for the winter, spring semester begin in January, so register now at mwpai.org.
Stock up and save big now, store-wide at the Lowe's Truckload event. For a limited time, save up to 50% on select tools and accessories from the brands you trust. And buy a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel miter saw and get an adjustable stand for free. Plus, get deals on appliances, bath, and more. Head to your local Lowe's or visit Lowe's.com to shop the Truckload event today. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Valid 12/29 through 1/11.
I never write reviews, but Navage is so amazing I had to leave one. Nothing's ever cleared out my sinuses as well. I'm blown away by how Navage works. That's a review from Carrie, and it's one of over 100,000 online testimonials praising Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I've talked about flushing out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs. How Navage's powered suction can help you breathe better, and how your nose is the body's air filter, and Navage will clean it out. But don't take my word for it. What do people like Chad say, who wrote, Navage has helped clear out my nasal passages every single night. My wife says my snoring has gone way down. Snorefest be gone, unquote. Navage is the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million customers to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Portions of today's radio program brought to you by Steet Pawnee Mazda, Ricky Z, and everybody over there. Wishing you a happy 2023. Come on in and see these vehicles and see the brand new facility. Perfect for service, perfect for a completely different buying experience. It's located on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. It's family owned and operated, and a different experience with Ricky Z and everybody at Steet Pawnee Mazda, family owned and operated, located on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. All right, we're doing a little moving around, and County Executive Anthony Pacenti on the line right now, or in studio right now, I should say. Good morning.
Good morning again.
By the way, just a little bit, how about the week that we experienced starting on Monday Night Football with the Buffalo Bills and DeMar and
was anybody more glued to TV for something that I think everybody communicated that if you didn't see it, it was going on. And
listen, I can get my wife to watch a football game, the Super Bowl, and she'll come down to watch the halftime show, and she watches the commercials. I didn't even know what to think when she came downstairs and said, I got to see what's going on. Everybody is talking about what happened. It turned out to be the biggest, most highest rated program ever on ESPN.
Right.
Wow.
And it was funny because you lose track with the holiday. It's like it's Monday and you don't think it's Monday because it seems like it's Saturday or Sunday or whatever.
Yeah,
and I'm like sitting there and I go, oh, the Bills are on. And I had literally turned it on like minutes, or even seconds before that play happened.
Oh, okay.
So I just caught it.
And it looked routine.
It did.
But it was scary to watch him go lifeless.
Yeah,
that was scary.
It was.
Yeah. But then to watch how, and Jeff brought this up earlier this morning, what a display of how the fans in Cincinnati and the club and the coaching and the players, how they reacted, and really how Buffalo reacted and the rest of the country. Kind of gives you, in the middle of battling in politics in Washington right now, the chaos that's going on, kind of gives you a little hope.
It does. And look, you forget that, we look at these athletes and, those of us, following sports for, the time you were born, your father, and, females, everybody, and you forget that they're young kids,
right?
And they're really young. They're in their 20s, and this young man, 24 years old, starting his career. And so, I think the good thing that I think we're looking at is that this is a young man who can recover, because he's this athlete who is healthy, at least up until this time, and
amazing that he is communicating. Obviously, he has a tube going down his throat right now, so he can't talk. But he is communicating by writing right now. It looks like there is no, neurological damage or anything like that at this point. Looks really good, and they even kept the door open while it probably is unlikely, but maybe I'm wrong. But kept the door open for him potentially playing football again.
Well, like I said, he's a 24-year-old.
In
outstanding shape. You don't play professional football or anything professional in that regard unless
Could you imagine though? If something
it was
happened
just time.
The lawsuit that he. Oh my gosh, there would be no NFL. They'd have to rename the league. They would go broke in lawsuits.
I would not be a bit surprised though if he doesn't. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to come back. There was a story that we had Mark Mowers on, who from Whitesboro, and Mark talked about when he was on the bench and a player when he played with Detroit had a massive heart attack. Yeah. He was there as they did perform CPR and brought him back to life. That game was suspended, but that player went on and tried to come back a couple times, but still had heart issues.
Yeah.
A little bit older than this kid at 24, but you never know.
But you've seen, you look at the major league players. In baseball and in football that have had, heart issues and have succeeded, and other cancers and other things that have come back, and after.
Well, it's going to be interesting. This weekend will be very, very interesting to see how they react with Buffalo playing at home against the Patriots. New website. The county has a new website. Let's talk about it.
We it's time to every so often especially with the changes in what's available, you want to upgrade, and so we really wanted to step up our game, so to speak, and needed to do that after several years of the same kind of thing, just like any other business or entity. I mean, we need to be accessible, but we need to have enough information to be displayed, especially in real time. And this is the new format. A lot more detail in terms of our departments. More interaction in terms of the things that people can do and get, and we really believe that this is another step in just making government more accessible, and more accommodating.
People expect it today.
They do, and they should, and they deserve it. And so I think I would encourage everybody to go take a look at it.
This will be good news for you. Father Sean O'Brien is giving it his blessing, and says hello to Tony Pacenti.
Well,
I'm not sure about the blessing. I'm not sure about the blessing for the website, but he does say hello.
Well, that's great.
So, all right, we'll talk about what can be done differently on this site.
Well, I mean, it really, like I said, it gives more information. It also, it really goes into more detail when people are looking for things that they have to, may come in contact with government but don't know where to go to. So it allows, more action in terms of, of questioning, of searches, of, more detail on individual departments. That and then also identifying the people that are there. I'm often asked, we have 25 departments. I mean, not including the elected officials, the sheriff, the DA, the controller, the clerk. People know them. They may not know all our department heads. It puts them in front and center too, so that people can see who's in charge, and if they need to get to somebody, they want to go, to where, where they need to. So it really, does, open up, more avenues for people to see who's running those various departments, so they can,
I think
connect with them.
I think people during COVID spent a lot of time on the county's website.
They did,
and that's where we probably
we had
realized,
the dash, because of the dashboard and the different things. So it still allows us, to continue those kind of things. It also allows us, to provide more information in the video sense, towards things like healthcare, whether it's COVID, whether it's the flu, whether it's opiates, whether it's other things. But it also, our goal is that it's updated, constantly, and and when we do something, that is newsworthy, that we put out there, that they can go there and read more about it and connect more with it.
Is the slogan "the center of growth in New York State"? Is that the new slogan?
That's the new slogan. I think we also wanted to highlight, one of the other things that I was, when we were designing it, I really wanted people to know what we were involved in, because I don't think, I know that, come on here and we get our message out, but when people go to look, I mean, what are the projects we're working on? What I thought that was an important aspect.
I was going to mention that.
That was getting lost. Not lost because we weren't talking about it, but if you do a news story, it's like, what else what's happening? When we went through Nexus and the hospital and the garage and Skydome and all the other projects, and what are we working on? And I think people need to see more of that, rather than just, we do a press release here and there, and they don't know what's going on.
And I think when you talk about the projects there, it's everything from Nexus to Innovari, parking garage, Skydome, and it goes on and on. But I think, as you said, you hear something in the news and it passes, and people might not completely understand what that is. It gives them a place to go and understand and learn about what's here and what you're working on.
Well, when we come, when I come here, it's to put the story out, and you guys do a great job with it. But there's more to the story, obviously, and I know that you can't tell it all, and then we don't expect that. But people need to see a little bit more of it, and then they can also find out how how to get there, how to or how to ask questions about it. And so
I would think that an updated site like this is important when it comes to economic development as well.
Well, it really is, because look, the world has revolved around this for the last, and this began so many years ago with the internet and with all of the access. People, doing economic development, You used to have to go and search, search archives and things, much like what Scott was talking about here. Yeah, now people, when companies are looking or they want to see what's going on, they're going to go to the website and they're going to go and look and see, especially if they're looking for investment from the county or direction or assistance, what's happening over there. So it's a great tool, and that's why it needed to be refreshed.
All right. It's ocgov.net, which we learned very, very much so during COVID.
Right. And the other piece is, the connection for, we're going to be doing a lot more as we do with you and others in terms of recruitment because, that's the other piece that, that's the other piece that website is going to be crucial for is identifying the jobs and what we do.
County Executive Anthony Piceni, thank you as always. We appreciate it.
Great. Have a great weekend.
Have a wonderful weekend. Go Bills. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 9 o'clock.
A better than expected update. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. On hiring and unemployment, just out this morning.
The job market is holding up better than expected. The unemployment rate slipped to 3.5% in December, and there were 223,000 new jobs created. Also, more people returned to work. The labor force participation rate improved to 62.3%.
That's Fox's Jenny Casola. A positive reaction on Wall Street. Dow futures up well over 300 points ahead of the opening bell this hour. House Republicans will try a fourth day to elect a speaker, and Kevin McCarthy is confident, despite losing on 11 ballots so far.
So if this takes a little longer and it doesn't meet your deadline, that's okay, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
There are reports of positive talks late last night with some of the 20 conservatives refusing to support McCarthy, but not all. Congressman-elect Matt Gaetz tells Fox,
I wouldn't be betting on my vote for Kevin McCarthy under almost any circumstance.
Gaetz voted for former President Trump to be speaker. Now, today marks 2 years since the Capitol riot, and Trump is being sued for wrongful death, accused of inciting the mob.